Basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, basketball, basketball, basketball. Basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
Tony's taunting me during the break, saying Udonis Haslem has become Diana Rossini's Grandpa Santa on the phone, that it's an empty threat that doesn't mean anything to anyone around here on the punishments. And Mike Ryan is actively, and this is disrespectful, and it's an act of resentment, honestly, that shouldn't express itself this way. I think he's Pete Carroll today. This doesn't feel like a real punishment, but the only one who gets punished is me, is because every time I'm talking, Mike is whispering into his headset, 57's the mic, 57's the mic, while covering his mouth with his play sheet, and he's trying to distract me from doing the show while also doing Pete Carroll, not like Daniel Day-Lewis as Pete Carroll. He's not leaving character.
Let's settle down. Take the air out of the ball. HB dive. A gap.
That's what he's been doing every time I'm talking.
Blitz and a safety. Run duo.
He's doing it when I'm trying to give points and while I'm talking and trying to organize the show. So the team is actively playing defense against me today on a legitimately good content day, because 24 hours later, how silly does this show sound? Laughing at the Warriors and celebrating the Miami Heat. 24 hours later, I don't know that I've heard someone do what Norman Powell did yesterday, where he's like, just put my name on the quote, that's a bad loss, where that's something fans say. I rarely hear players say of losing to other professional players,
I
man,
loved it.
That's a bad loss.
I love it. And he didn't even leave it at that. He said it's a bad loss. That's a really bad loss.
How often do you hear, he's right, you're losing to...
Loved it.
What did you love?
I loved that he came out and said that. Yeah. Why are we it's a professional team, you know, they got guys who know how to... No. That's a really bad loss last night. Good for you, Norman Powell. I like you even more now.
The headline is Heat waste big lead, wilts in fourth quarter in, quote, very bad loss to undermanned Cavs. Mobley is not there. Come on, man. Mitchell's not there. Like, that's not their team.
Garland's not there.
That's not their team. That's not what I thought the Heat's bet. Like, you can't. You're undefeated at home. Like, explain that to me. So it's a very bad loss. And they were 5.5-point favorites in the game with all of the Cavs back home, because the Cavs were – that's as close to tanking as a team will do overtly, is it not? Just sending its starters home like that.
Zaz, you know about that Naquan Tomlin?
That's a made-up name.
We want to do a spelling bee on Naquan. How do we spell it?
I mean, I know the way y'all looking at me.
I'll take a try. I'll take a stab.
Here we go.
N-A-Q.
Nope.
You sure?
Thanks for playing.
That's how you spell Saquon.
Very bad loss, Norman Powell says. You guys will, I'm not saying it's the rarest of things, but it's normal for fans to say, wow, that's a bad loss. You rarely hear it in the locker room where a player will say that of other professionals. Generally, they respect the other team's backups.
No, I like it. I wish sometimes players would come out and say, yeah, that's a really bad loss. That team sucks. We should have won.
Sometimes you do hear that when it's a team that's actually bad as opposed to a team that sat all of its starters. But I'm with Zaz, man. I like the accountability. I like this. Hey, man, we're not going to shirk this. We dropped the ball. They were up double digits in the first half. But then I'm watching the game all night, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. It's a lot of ISO ball.
They were so sloppy.
So much isolation from the Heat, even when it was working for them. And then the other thing was, at one point, I looked at the person next to me. I'm like, "Is this the Jared Allen game?" Yeah. Because he looked like Hakeem down there. Everything around the rim. I'm like, you can't keep falling for an up fake from Jared Allen. Make him make a shot over you.
Yeah, and this is a substantive difference between whatever Ware is athletically that Bam isn't, but what Ware is defensively that Bam isn't. Like, this is not a minimal piece that's out for the Miami Heat. But regardless, yesterday we were out here loud and proud on what the Heat are going to be, because they were undefeated at home and they're still scoring an incredible amount per game. But you lose that game, and then Steph Curry does Steph Curry at Wemby, and 24 hours later, we all sound ridiculous talking about basketball in 24-hour terms. This is a punishment for you. It's a punishment for you.
You got to raise it. You're like Steve Spagnuolo. You don't know. You're holding the sheet down here. It's got to be in
What
front
is
of your
the
face.
punishment? That you're chewing gum during the show, or that you're doing the Pete Carroll? Which is what? Okay, the punishment is Pete Carroll.
Yeah, and the gum is part of being Pete Carroll.
200% more gum.
I have to spend an hour in the bathroom putting on makeup with my wife to get my costume ready. You throw on a Raiders jersey and a headset and throw some gum in your mouth.
QZ.
And
I ate
that's
70 nuggets.
Well, I've learned, and I also took a gummy before the show, just to emotionally prepare for how difficult.
And the makeup stuff at culpa tuya.
I mean, what do you want me to do? There are punishments on the bucket board, and I take the punishments and I do the punishments, and I've done more punishments than anybody else.
all right. So when you say, "What do you want me to do?" it doesn't surprise me that you don't wait for an answer and then you tell me what the answer is on what do you want me to do.
Hey.
What I want you to do is respect the audience and the punishment.
Excellence is not an act.
Respect,
It's a habit.
Respect the punishments and the audience by putting some effort into. We are a watched and listened to show, an entertainment option for people, and you're cheating the punishments and the audience when you do the Pete Carroll this way.
You should be ashamed of
Give me
yourself.
a break. Can you give me a break?
Anyway, the basketball stories.
Take your time.
He called a timeout.
That's the same sound as the penalty box. Don't distract me. Be on my team, please. Someone here be on my team.
He called a timeout. What do you want me to do?
The NBA has 10 games in. You have blow up the Clippers.
He's so distracting.
Yeah, no, he's been doing it in my ear. It's been private. It's been private.
I've just been holding the private communications button, chewing in his ear.
Just chewing in my ear and also putting the play sheet over him, and it sounds like a faraway air traffic controller when he's like, no, 79's the mic. 79,
No, stop doing
59's
that to
the
me. I
mic.
don't like
I'm
it.
just doing it to you.
They dropped a D lineman?
No, this is what I'm saying. It's meant to distract me. I'm thinking in my ear, talking to you guys. I'm like, you don't put a D lineman in the mic. Why?
drop it back to nose tackle?
You're confusing me with the defense. What is the nose tackle doing in coverage?
One time, Gino. One time.
So I'm having an argument with the show in my head, and this is what it's like to be in an insane asylum where you hear voices in your head, because it's not just chewing gum. He's also throwing mock plays at me, decoy plays at me. It's not just normal plays.
You got to be ready, Dano.
So I've got blow up the Mavs, blow up the Clippers, okay? You got Mark Cuban getting back into management, going to have some reportedly more voice around the Mavs as they try to fix what Amin is calling a crater trade. You have the possibility of your franchise being doomed for 30 years. Amin is shouting from the mountaintops, do you know what's been done here? We're sitting here watching the smoldering crater, and Amin's saying, hey, it's a lot worse than this. This is now. It's hard to dig out of this if Cooper Flagg doesn't end up becoming Luka. So you got blow up the Mavs. You got Jason Kidd. Can we play this sound? You got Jason Kidd saying, the Mavs coach.
Go ahead and play the sound.
And this will drown everyone in leadership in Dallas if they continue to underestimate how mad their customers are. Like, this is not the America to insult your customers when they pay a lot of money to support you by telling them to move on when they don't want to move on.
Okay, hit it.
You know, we can only
hope that we don't have to go through that again, because it was a little disrespectful, because the guys are playing hard and they're trying to win. And so with that chant during when we're shooting free throws, it's
30 on the clock.
But understanding that they got their point across, the fans, but we have to move forward. I understand the healing
15.
process for the fans, but these guys are playing hard. Ever since the trade,
10 seconds on
these
the clock.
guys have given everything.
You got a timeout. You're clear.
Zaslow, when I hear Jason Kidd, and he doesn't mean this as lecturing, he's going to protect his players, but this bubble is getting smaller and smaller that these guys are allowed to exist in.
Bubble!
And they're in the rarest of places. They're in our customers are coming to the arena and they kind of hate us, and it's not because we're bad. They just want a place to kind of hate something because of how mad they are. Not a lot of teams play at home that way.
I totally hear everything you're saying, and I understand it can be hurtful for the franchise where, let's say, you want to try and acquire a free agent, and then they think, wow, do I want to go there where our own fans are going to hate us every game? That's certainly not going to help acquire players. But I don't feel like being lectured by Jason Kidd if I'm a Mavericks fan who had my heart ripped out, and now because we got our point across, it's time to move on. Like, there's going to be a time when Jason Kidd is no longer the coach of the Mavericks, and that's I'm not saying like he's going to get fired anytime soon. That's every coach in the league. There's going to be a time where he is no longer the coach of the Mavericks, and guess how little he's going to care about the Mavericks on a day-to-day basis. He's not going to. But all of those fans who are in the building who have yet to move on, they care about that team for the rest of their lives. Don't tell me not to be angry and to move on.
All right, tighten it up.
When you say ripped out the hearts of your customers, I do think that one of the things that you guys just have to, especially if you have kids, that you just have to imagine. Just imagine explaining to your kid who's wearing the Luka jersey why your team did what it did. And that's his generation of fandom that's beginning, or hers, that's beginning right there. I mean, your thoughts on what is happening there? These people have the risk of being swallowed by continuing to underestimate the damage they've done.
Well, I think, first of all, I got to disagree with Zaz. Like, Jason Kidd's point is apt. Regardless if Nico is still there or not, that has nothing to do with anybody on the floor. Matter of fact, none of them even have control over that. They are all subordinates to a decision that is happening far above them. So how does – it's not – he's saying don't chant it. He's saying the game's on the line and our guy is on the free throw line.
What's going on?
Our guy's on the free throw line. Why are you distracting him? Why are you actively giving him negative energy? P.J. Washington had nothing to do with this, and that's the question right there. So I agree with Coach Kidd. It's like there's a time and place to do it, and that was the wrong time.
So is the team 3-9 because the fans are being mean?
They weren't booing, like, boo, you guys suck. They're saying, fire Nico. That's very different.
Let me ask you, though, I mean, is there another team in the league presently playing at home under the hostility I'm speaking of? It's not that we're mad at you because we think you're bad. This is a place for us to vent at what you did to us.
They're also bad, by the way. No, I mean, obviously not. There's no team that even comes close to this because, again, nobody has ever pretty much done a deal like this in real time. So
don't tell the fans to move on.
But, again, like, hey, if you want to boo Nico, if you want to boo Patrick Dumont, sure. Even if you want to, like, boo the team, but the game was not in hand, It was in the balance. The guy has a chance to make free throws and win this game. Why are you actively playing defense against that? I think that's the point.
And to that point, like, at what point is it going to be enough? Right? It's the whole season?
Probably when the team's
season
good.
After that?
Probably when they're good.
So what if they're not going to good for another 5 years?
But guys, the reason I keep thinking that this is being underestimated emotionally, it's just super rare for a fan base to want to punish its team because it's mad at its team because they want to blame somebody. So we don't care if we win during this season because miss the free throws because bleep all of you. That's why I'm going to the game, to go and get into the crowd and have my outrage fed so that I can have lighter fluid. The country's paying attention to me. We have a bonfire in Dallas. Mark Cuban's rushing into the rescue. I got it. I'll save them. And everyone in Dallas is hurt, wounded, and lashing out at the home team.
So, Zaz, a comp is when Portland had the quote-unquote jailblazers, right? Their players were getting in trouble, getting arrested. Meanwhile, the team also wasn't so good, right? That's a situation where I'm like, okay, you can boo them.
Yeah.
You boo them because they are responsible. They are the ones who are doing this stuff. P.J. Washington, Cooper Flag, these guys have nothing to do with the workings of a higher up. P.J. Washington, you think P.J. Washington like, yeah, trade Luka. I'd love to get him out of here. Those guys, of course they want to play with Luka. Of course they'd love to have him.
So you're telling me when P.J. Washington's on the free throw line, a professional basketball player who plays half his games on the road, where the entire crowd is chanting and yelling and booing and wanting you to miss free throws. The crowd chanting, "Fire Nico," is so disrespectful and distracting for him, he can't make free throws, even when he knows it's coming.
It is jarring. He doesn't know it's coming in that moment. You're at home.
They're doing a whole game.
12th man.
You're at home, and again, you're at home, and this isn't third quarter free throws. This is crunch time free throws. And you're like, wait, do they want us to lose? What's happening here? That is a jarring experience that I don't think most NBA players would expect in that scenario.
Do you think Jason Kidd really thinks that part of the reason that they're not playing well is because the crowd is chanting? They're 3-9.
No, I just think it's like, hey, we're already having a hard enough time. We've got all these injuries, whatever. It doesn't help to have, fans doing this.
It definitely doesn't help, but stop telling fans what to do when they're the ones who are the victims, the fans.
But so Zaz, they are not helping in this regard, right? I don't know how many people listening to this believe in any kind of energy stuff, okay?
Zaz, this is the analogy I'll give you. If Dan Le Batard did something to upset me, would it be okay for me to slap Mike?
Whoa.
Well, Mike, you're all part of the team.
I mean,
I'm going to slap Mike, right? Like that. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Percy Harvin choking out players in the locker room. He won a Super Bowl. It happens.
Ethan's dog?
When we're talking about energy as it relates, I mean, honestly, it's not bad enough he's trying to distract me. You go in with Ethan's dog as the joke, knowing you're going to annoy me. Knowing you're going to annoy me because you're going so inside on a joke for 6 people. It's not enough that Mike's doing this. When I talk about energy stuff, Zaz, I'm not talking about spiritual stuff, okay? I'm talking about everyone listening to this believes what I'm about to say. Home field advantage is a thing because the energy of the crowd matters, because the crowd gets into the game and supports its home team. That support is worth something. You're going to tell me the opposite of that does not affect players trying to be professionals at the center of that crater? Like, you can argue it if you want, but if they're playing in a place that's a misery energetically, where their own fans are not there for support, holy shit, that's not an atmosphere I'm used to seeing basketball teams play at home in.
Right, Dan. I think the important distinction is home energy, positive is what we believe. Road energy, negative. We also expect that. Reggie Miller, LeBron James, all these players are like, oh, I love it when they start booing, right? It fuels me. The thing that I don't think any professional athlete in any sport is prepared for is home crowd negative energy.
I think what we could all agree on, though, because what you're saying is fine and it obviously makes sense. But I think what we could all agree on is this is as unique a situation we have ever seen. And in this unique situation, there's one person who is the victim here, and it's the fans. And I don't want the players or the coaches, who are the ones getting paid, when the fans who are showing up and apparently being disrespectful to you are still the ones paying to see you. I don't want the fan being told what to do.
Okay, but the next step on that, you're correct, right? I think most people listening to this would say, yeah, the fans paying customer, don't tell me how to care. I care. I pay for everything.
And they're doing it because they care.
My care pays for everything here. But when I'm describing the following to you, Jason Kidd is saying from at the bottom of this thing, ostensibly they all care about, hey, guys, that's not helping. I need those free throws at the end to get all of this out of my building. I'm under the avalanche too. I work here. It hurts me too. Please stop doing that so that when my guys are taking free throws at home, not whether it affects them or not, we don't have the energy of that's not support. Our customers are not with us. Like, if you guys believe that this is an emotional relationship between fans and their businesses and that it's the emotions business, this is a betrayal of that to have inside of your building the energy of the home team doesn't want you to win, doesn't want to help you. The home team is there to blame you and making it worse. It makes the entire relationship deeply emotionally dysfunctional. The home fan is not there rooting against his or her team.
All right, we're stuck here. Got to move on.
Well, and it's probably why you need to blow it up.
Run game not working.
Like, we need to start
Okay, so
over.
what does that look like? What does that look like? GM Jazz comes in. He's like, all right, the full gambit of everything's at my disposal. What do I do?
I would trade Anthony Davis today.
That's not getting very much hurt. That you're basically trading Luka for nothing. You send Anthony Davis away, you're not going to get very much.
So this is a really important conversation because at the same time, the Clippers are dealing with their own issues. Bradley Beal is out for the year with a hip injury.
There we go.
They're horrible. Kawhi's been out, right? And so we were talking who needs to blow it up more. The problem is the Clippers, because of the Paul George deal from way back, still owe picks, so they can't blow it up, even if they got a zillion assets in return, because if they go bad into the toilet, you know what happens, Dan? If they go in the toilet,
yeah, the OKC's going to get the good picks.
The best team in the league,
It's amazing,
gets like the number 1 overall pick. Meanwhile, Dallas actually owns its pick this year, but after this year, it turns into swaps and pick obligations. So this is the time right now. You push a red button in Dallas,
Yep.
You've given yourself an opportunity to start building something. You're not going to get equal return, Dan, as you asked right there. But
they have their pick this year.
At this point, it's not about
it's
making
not,
up for other
it's
mistakes.
not that they're not going to get equal return. Right now, you will be trading what you got for Luka, what you told everybody in the league was the future that we get for Luka. You'd be trading it at its lowest value in the career of Anthony Davis.
Dan, you can't keep digging a hole and thinking if I dig deeper, maybe I'll get out of the hole.
Jason Kidd told us to move on. So move on from the awful trade.
Anthony Davis is a top 75 player all time. You trade him for nothing, and what are you going to get for him, Amin?
Dan, this is the moment. It's more about the timing than it is what I'm going to get for him, right? If I wait until his value goes up, I may have jeopardized the one small window of time. We've got a very tight window to turn keys and push that nuclear option. Outside of that window, we can't have that option available. So it's more about the timing, and whoever comes in to take control, you can't be worried about what the other guy before you did to mess us up. All I can do is do the best thing moving forward from this point on. And right now, the best thing moving forward, probably for Dallas, 11, 12 games in, is blow it up.
On the Clippers end of it, though, you're talking about they don't have the luxury that Dallas has to get their first round pick, right? So
Yes.
it's not good for them to blow it up this season. The problem is they're already in the toilet, right? Kawhi is going to be out for who knows how long. He's got a foot sprain and an ankle sprain. The team is just not good. Bradley Beal out for the season. Like, you have all these things that are pushing, the inertia is pushing you that way anyway. Why not? And I know Tom Haverstraw wrote this in the summer.
What do you say?
Go trade Kawhi Leonard. Go get somebody else. Go trade him to the Pelicans for Zion Williamson. Like, there's plays to be made that, yeah, you're not going to be exactly what you need, but, like, you got to get out from the hole that you're in.
So there is a blueprint for this. The Nets, when they traded for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Jason Terry, they had all those picks going out unprotected, all those pick swaps. And so once they figured out, oh, this isn't working, all you can do is build like the most rugged, competitive team. The picks are gone. You can't save that, but all you can do is build a team that's going to be healthy and available and win games in the short term to make sure those picks are the 10th pick as opposed to the second pick.
Can I just stop all of you for a second, okay? Because I know we run from 10 games to 10 games in sports with just blinders on, and so many people not that long ago wanted Bradley Beal. And now Bradley Beal has sabotaged a couple of different plans, and in the middle of those plans, I don't want to just skip past this Clippers part of it. Pablo detonates a bomb in the middle of that. All of us are a little confused by why would the Clippers trade Norman Powell for Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love when he's an important, almost all-star on 3 delicate pieces there that nobody trusts before him. You guys are telling me after I thought that the Clippers had a championship chance last season, the way that they finished the season 33-13 and could have beaten any team in the league, and it wasn't an asinine opinion to have, except but for it's the Clippers, and you can't trust Kawhi Leonard or James Harden in a Game 7. You guys are telling me 6 months later, all of the Clippers stuff is done, and we can pronounce it now, given specifically the part that we're ignoring, which is OKC is totally overwhelming. Totally overwhelming.
I mean, tell them about John Collins.
Yeah, they didn't trade for Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love. It was a 3-way deal. They got John Collins from Utah in that deal.
Thank you for the addition. The Clippers, you're telling me, are now a nuked thing, fried thing, finished as a product, blow all of it up, when I was not asinine in saying that team could have won the championship, the one that headed into the playoffs last year.
No, 100%. And they played so well to end the season. The problem is that's what it is for championship windows with guys in their mid-30s, right? The window is open one year, and then the next year it is completely shut. And then you're looking around saying, not only do we have an issue with the NBA who's looking up under every crevice we got about the aspiration situation, Kawhi is not even healthy now. James Harden's okay, he's good, like you can get something for him. Zubats has been bad to start the year. Like Norman Powell's not there. John Collins is an okay piece off the bench. Like, what do you have in the Clippers organization?
It's a really old team. Leonard, Harden, Bradley Beal, Brook Lopez. They got Chris Paul's corpse. You know they have Chris Paul's corpse coming off the bench?
Dan, I did a bit a long time ago about Doc Rivers' decision tree process. It's like, hey, did you play for me 100 years ago? Oh, come back, welcome to the Clippers, right? And it's funny, he's not there anymore, but it's still the same kind of thing. When you're playing scrapbook GM, like, oh, I remember him. Remember when he was good somewhere else? Think of the names he just said. Other than John Collins, who's young? Who's somewhere close to their prime? They're playing off of memories. And yes, those guys are all still very good basketball players. But the other part of this, Dan, is when you go and get old guy after old guy after old guy, you're saying, oh, by the way, Father Time ain't going to come around here with a sprained ankle or a broken hip.
But do you guys realize what you're saying? If you guys are right, if you guys are accurate in saying demolish everything with the Clippers, when I pair it to what OKC is doing at the start of this season and after last season, we're over here talking about this Luka trade again and again and again, and this other one's going to go down as one of the worst we've ever seen in the history of sports because you've just given so much fuel to OKC that when you're bad this year and it blows up on Steve Ballmer's face, you've got the legitimate possibility. I think there are worse teams in the league, but if it's really bad with the Clippers this year, then you're going to be giving the number 1 overall pick to a team that already has 2 key pieces out and has lost 1 time this season.
By the way, another team we haven't talked about at all, but is in a similar situation, the New Orleans Pelicans, because their pick is going to Atlanta. And they're awful this year.
Good job by Joe Dumars.
Zion's still fat, and well, no, he's not still fat, but he's still not healthy, right? And Derek Queen, while he looks like a good player,
is not
certainly
all NBA.
Yeah, he's not enough to lift the Pelicans beyond where they're at right now, which is a 2-9 team. And so this, Dan, is just like the ballad of, hey, when you give away a pick without protection, you are playing the most dangerous game in basketball.
By the way, it's not just this pick, this 26th first-round pick that the Thunder have from the Clippers that's unprotected. They also have their pick next year. It's a swap next year, but like, if the Clippers are really bad again, the Thunder get it again.
Zaz, this is my whole Nico thing. It's like, you can't tell me that Anthony Davidson, 1 first-round pick, even if you think Anthony Davis is the best thing since sliced bread, you can't tell me that was good enough value when the Clippers are still paying off for Paul George. They still have like installments left on their layaway plan.
See, my biggest thing with that was also, there was no time in that conversation that Nico Harrison said, you're also going to give us Austin Reeves. Like, Rob Pelinka, who had this gift fall on his doorstep, you think he's not acquiring Luka Doncic because he won't hand over Austin Reeves?
Do you think Rob Pelinka is going to be the guy who say, hey, I could have had Luka. Why didn't you?
Right.
I didn't want to give up Austin Reeves.
It's inexplicable, right?
But this goes back to kind of what I talked about yesterday when I read the quote from Jeremiah Engelman, who used to work in the front office. When you surround yourself, over the course of years, not just in that window of time, but over the course of years, with people who don't tell you the realness, who don't provide critical feedback that is opposite of whatever your impulse is. I used to say, when I worked in the front office, people always ask me, oh, what did you do? Did you make trades? Did you draft people? Like, no, I'm not the GM. I don't do that. My job was to provide enough critical evidence to the contrary of whatever you wanted to do.
Probably a little too much mean.
Well, I'm just saying.
Play the Barkley sound here because he is defending Nico Harrison. And like I am probably remiss in falling into the trap that we do with all of the NBA soap opera, which is blow up the Clippers, blow up Dallas. Nobody pay attention. That's Jokic putting up 55 to end the Clippers last night. That's
like 90% true shooting, by the way.
No, but I'm
player.
The top two players that I believe that all of us would say for the last 3 years, the best two teams in the league are OKC and Dallas, and Boston snuck in there with like this spaceship that just took threes better than everybody else.
Let's run a play for Roy.
Well, the Panthers play tonight against the Washington Capitals. That's my play right there, Mike. Thank you.
Gadget guy. Kind of like Taysom Hill.
Audible artist.
We are good idea. Thank you. You've thrown the quarterback.
All right, let's not go back to him.
It was just a terrible play call. I don't understand why on 3rd and 11 you made me spike the ball when there were no clock issues going on.
Now you got to go for it on 4th down.
But I hit 4th and 11.
Let's not give it to Marshawn.
I don't trust my coach because he just told me to spike it and we weren't even dealing with a clock situation. I don't understand why he made me throw the ball at
Taking it out of the playbook. All right.
Dan.
We're paying attention to the wrong things.
Okay, so let's pay attention to the right things. If I ask you, what do you think Nikola Jokic is shooting from the field this season?
It's crazy.
Don't
100%.
Oh, what are you doing?
He knows how to play this game.
How? Yeah, I mean, every time I look up,
14%.
he's at least his bad games are he went 9 for 10.
So give me a number. Give me a number.
Well, okay, I'll say 58%.
He's shooting 68% from the field.
It's insane.
That would be better than anyone ever, right?
He's shooting 42% from 3. He's shooting 78% on non-3-point shots. So he's taking about 12 of those shots a game inside the 3-point line and shooting 78%.
That one has to be a record, right?
Well, no, but shooting, if you shot 68% for a season,
DeAndre Jordan had a year where he shot like 75%.
Okay, but I'm talking about somebody who
but still 78% Jokic twos is better than DeAndre Jordan.
But shooting 78% from twos is ridiculous, but having an efficiency from all of the floor of 68%, there's nobody. Michael Jordan's best seasons would be at 58%, 57%. There's nobody
on 2-pointers. I think Jordan was pretty high, obviously on 2-pointers, but not that high because again,
that would be a record field goal percentage. That's not sustainable. He can't do that. LeBron's best season was the one in Miami where he shot 58% from the field because he decided that season I'm not going to play a game that allows for inefficient shots.
Jordan, LeBron, good stuff.
Wilt in the 71-72 season shot 72% from the field.
Okay, all right, but we know what that is. That's not shooting. That's a lot of dunking and being bigger than everyone else.
Yeah, but I think that's
the best comparison, no?
Ja Morant trade.
Well, the only reason it's not the best comparison is because Jokic is shooting what he is from 3. Wilt Chamberlain never took a 3. Wilt Chamberlain would never shoot from anywhere.
That's the air conversation. Put that in.
The thing that I am just saying, Amin, is we will not stop talking about Jalen Brunson limped off the court. We will not stop talking about the daily soap operas of what's happening in Dallas. We will not stop talking about Steph and LeBron. But the best teams are not the best stories. And so Denver and OKC and all of that excellence will turn to ashes around all the other, correct? That during the regular season, there is nothing OKC can do. That maybe threaten the record of 73 wins in a season, but there's next to nothing OKC can do that will matter. Their regular season is not interesting to the public.
No, you just named it. Like threatening the 73 wins, that's the thing, and they're certainly on pace for it.
And I think the manner in which they're winning, I mean, again, they beat the Lakers, who have been good this year, and everyone's been really excited and inspired by them. They smacked them, and again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scores 30, and again, he doesn't play the fourth quarter. And so at some point, this is going to sound kind of crazy, it becomes bad TV because if every game is a blowout, then it's really hard to keep people tuned in.
All right, we got 2 minutes here. 2-minute warning.
The part that I find most interesting is storylines.
Gotta go quick.
Bang against excellence.
Quick.
Boston snuck in there for a year and took the. You need me to talk fast?
We gotta go,
2
Dan.
minute tempo.
Hurry up,
Tempo.
offense.
Roy, what should I do?
Audible out this play.
Yeah. Don't go to Roy. Don't go to Roy.
We don't have an audible. It's
Don't go to
2-minute
Roy.
offense.
Don't go to Roy.
OKC is not going to be talked about this season, and they're going to be better than everybody again. They're winning by 30. They're not like they had the 2 overtime games at the beginning of the season, but they're dragging everybody.
How did they lose that one game to Portland?
They didn't have anybody play.
No, they played. They played their guys. What happened in Portland was when they played against a Portland team they were playing on a back-to-back.
Danny Avdia.
Oklahoma City was.
Whoa, wow. No one rested?
Nobody rested.
Wow.
And they lost that
Crazy.
game.
Did you just make that up? Did you from that seat just make up that nobody played in that game? Who
I didn't
said
say it. Tony did. Mike did.
Tony just pointed at Mike.
I didn't say it.
What are you talking about?
Thought we could trust Roy in that situation. Really thought we could. Yeah.
Drop the ball.
Thought we could trust him. Have a lot of
I don't
regret.
understand.
It starts with me.
It's
I made the call. I made the call to go to Roy. Panthers didn't play last night. I should have known that. He's a lot like Leroy Horde. You need 3 yards, he'll give you 3 yards. You need 4, he'll give you 3. And I just got to do a better job there. I thought the fans were great. A couple calls didn't go our way. Probably stayed on basketball way too long, especially with the CFP rankings. That's bread and butter right there. That's our identity. We'll talk politics, so push away the remainder of our audience next segment.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
So I really don't know, even though I'm talking to David Samson where and when the time permits, I really don't know how he is doing what he is presently doing, which is a daily show that is 3 times a week now, but is normally daily as he manages some stuff at home that has been really profoundly difficult, some of the worst pain that I can't imagine much worse pain than what it is that he's presently going through. I assume that he's still working because he's duty-bound, he's responsible, and because there are parts of this that he enjoys. He has now shaved his head in solidarity with his daughter and his family. And Zaslow asked me a question. I didn't know how to answer it, even though I've known you for 20 years, and I could generally feel pretty confident answering these questions. He's like, can we say who David looks like now? Is that insensitive? Is it insensitive to say who in arts or entertainment David looks like now that he's got this big gray beard and that he's shaven? And I would assume that you'd be okay with that, but he didn't want to be indelicate over something that was, so family personal as you shaving your head to show everyone really that you're in pain with your daughter.
Zaz, go ahead. I don't recognize what I look like, so to me, I don't look like anybody. But if you've got a doppelganger out there that you would like to advance the show with, past Dan's ridiculous takes on Wilt Chamberlain, please feel free.
You don't think Wilt could hit some threes?
I just think that Dan misled a fraction of the audience into saying that all he did was dunk because he was bigger than everyone else. Wilt Chamberlain had an entire, not only did he have a great mid-range game, and I don't know where you were here with telling Dan, unless part of the rules are now at Meadowlark that we can't say anything bad to Dan. That was just an irresponsible statement, Dan.
They threw it to Roy.
Look, Wilt Chamberlain, his game was limited. He was bigger and stronger and more athletic than everyone else, and therefore he would say, "What are you looking at me like? I don't know what I'm talking about."
He's a great
passer. He was bigger, like he was somebody for his time who was more athletically gifted in size, strength, and mobility than everyone he was playing against.
You could say that even today.
That's not Jokic.
He's one of the most athletic.
That's not what Jokic is. That's not what I'm watching when I'm watching Jokic. The reason Wilt Chamberlain shot that percentage from the field is because he was playing a whole bunch of people who got stuck in his armpit.
So I understand that you're going to double down on that. But if you go back to what made Will Chamberlain fantastic, there was a guy who played for Boston. I mean, I can't think of who he was. I think he wore number 6, but it's escaping me. And
William Russell?
William Russell. That's the guy, I mean, with all the titles that Boston won. So it's not as though that Wilt was able to carry the Lakers to this, as you know, all of these great things. I just took offense to the fact that you would sully Wilt Chamberlain when, in fact, what we witnessed during that season when he was shooting 72%, the things that he was doing, we've never seen since. Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Jokic, Dokic, none of them.
David, number one, I
Who
found,
do I look like?
Well, I found you unrecognizable when I saw your show on Monday. It's not insults, just I was like, I was shocked. I did not recognize you. But I think you look like Obadiah Stane from Iron Man.
Ooh.
I think you look like Jeff Bridges' character, the main villain in the first Iron Man movie. I think you look just like him.
Well, that's just bald with a beard.
Yeah, that's
But,
right. It's a key
okay.
component.
Let me give you the background just so I'm not hiding anything. The reason for the beard is not because I want to grow hair on my face because I don't have it on my head. It's that I shave on Sundays, and I had shaved on September the 6th, which is the Sunday going into Monday, September 7th. And then my daughter got sick on September 12th. And the first thing that she did when she regained consciousness was to play with my what at the time was just sort of a little bit of growth. And every day since then, she plays with my beard all the time. And so I promised I would never shave it, and I will never shave it until I just won't ever shave it for now. And so the hair was because part of treatments is that she is without hair for the most part. And so I wanted it to be, along with her boyfriend and brother-in-law, we wanted to show the beauty of that and take power over that. And now it is a combination where she doesn't spend a lot of time up here. It's still the beard that is the infatuation. So that is the day. And Dan, the reason I do shows is that I want to feel less lonely. I enjoy doing this with you every week. I enjoy interacting with the audience. Unfortunately, my day today is that I have to do something with Pablo that I really don't want to do, but I feel totally obligated to, and I could blow it off, but I don't want to do it to our partner Pablo, who's releasing shows and investigating stuff and being investigated. So I have to do something that takes time away from my daughter with him today, Dan.
So if I may, for the audience, if you want to support the things that David is doing, he's got an unusual connection with his audience, and he does feel duty-bound to that audience to do an entertaining show every day that he's still working on, even though it's obviously something that hurts to let the priorities down on, as he must. A difficult question for you that I've not asked you personally or privately. Where are you with the differences in how it is you're experiencing love these days? And what has been changed about you over the last 2 months of nightmare as you've confronted a life turned upside down with something you could not have imagined in your worst nightmares as being this kind of life-altering?
Definitely could never have imagined the situation. And I would say where I am with love, and it's something that I think about, obviously, because you'd think that your reaction would be that you want to take advantage of every minute, that you want to remember every moment, and that you go back with some regret over decisions that you've made over time you didn't spend with your daughter when you could have. And the struggle I'm having is that I don't know that I would have done anything differently because I only had the information I had at the time. And I never would have expected there to be this sort of issue that exists, that costs time. Because as you know, my relationship with time is far more complicated than my relationship with love. But right now, the family, and we're very much hunkered down. And the problem is that there is no time to show enough grace to each other. There is no time to show enough love to each other because it is basically every day dealing with something. Does this help her get better? That's the question. Does this help give her a moment of being happier? That's the question. not how do I show more love to myself or to others. None of us are taking care of ourselves the way we should because we're focused on taking care of her, because that's all that matters. And the question you have to ask yourself is, that balance is a difficult one because it is having a tremendously negative impact on everyone in the family. And I could almost argue, and people are going to misunderstand this, there's an argument to be made that the impact on everyone else is as significant as the impact on her. And there's a bunch of factors that I don't want to talk about that make that a true statement that may not sound true to you. But these are issues that come up, including until 1 a.m. last night during a family meeting. While there is a show the next day at 7 a.m. live, I had to be someplace, so I had to get on my bike and go to a house at 10:30 at night for several hours, and my phone goes off, and that's not a fine because it's on silent except for family who text from time to time about treatments and stuff. So it's all a mess, Dan, and I don't want to waste your audience's time, and I'm not looking for anything other than the love that you guys have given me, and I appreciate that.
David, how do you make sure, if it's okay for me to ask, how do you make sure that she doesn't see how it's affecting you? Because I'm sure you don't want her to have to think about that.
That is the best question, and no one's asked that. And there's a lot of whispering that goes on. There's a lot of going to the other room. There's a lot of things that happen after she goes to sleep. So you're right. You can't show any of that. You have to be a united front. You have to be cheery and upbeat all the time when you feel like not being that any of the time. And so it is a lot of acting. It's a lot of pretending. And the dichotomy of how you feel versus how you want to look is so different that you end up having to use the other people in the room as your bellwether. Hey, how do I look now? Because when you're crying, you can't stay in the room with her because you want her to see you crying. And so we have a place where she is, where we go and cry out of sight. It's really something, Zaz, but you're right. You don't want to ever show any of that to her.
I'm going to try to move on to some of the other stuff here in a second, including playing some video that will lighten this up of David on a bicycle that I was sent yesterday that must have been a mortifying situation to him because it looked like he was running through the city of New York with a stolen bicycle. But before we play that particular video, just one more thing for people who have sort of witnessed your journey over 20 years with this show. There was a time that you walked out of a funeral many, many years ago where you felt something and you felt like you had almost cried and you felt a human emotion that was a bit rare to you. It had reached you in a place where you allowed yourself to be vulnerable. How much has that stuff changed in the last 2 months because some part of this has allowed you to be broken open and really realize that you have been a dutiful father and you have had love inside you that might come with regret and guilt right now, but you know how hard you love. Like you're under no confusion about that right now.
No, I'm not afraid to or ashamed to go full Rosie Greer. I've cried every day since September 12th at some point. There isn't a day that goes by where it's not in my head. There's no escaping from it. As I sit here with you, there's no escape. Even doing nothing personal, there's no escape. So I can't find the escape. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't know. What therapists have been helpful with is trying to navigate the unnavigable. And the problem is that that road can't start right now because we're in such acute emergency situation that the only thing that matters is what we're doing in terms of care. So the answer is every day is a struggle in a way that is hard to talk about. And the video you're going to show is a perfect example, and I don't know how you got the video actually, is a perfect example. I think it could have been Bimmel. That I recorded a show that just came out last night with Pablo. That show was recorded yesterday. And I was in between a treatment and in between a therapy session. And I had to get to your studio to record in a certain time frame. And so the only way to do it was on a bicycle. And that is true. That happened yesterday.
All right, so they're downloading it now. Pete Carroll has gotten in everyone's way in the video room, and something that would have been available moments ago is now being overmanaged and micromanaged because Pete Carroll has decided to go into the other room and block the video from being played because he's making some sort of editorial judgment in tone and content.
Dan, he's got to learn everybody's job top to bottom. That's why he's the CEO of the company and for the Oakland Raiders. Like, he's the guy making sure, hey, guys in the video room, I know what you're doing. I need to see what's going on over there. He's doing what he's got to do over here. I applaud.
All right, Mike,
Control.
let me know when it is that we have the video that we're playing for the audience to have perfect comedic timing of a stolen bicycle. But how mortified were you? Because you looked pretty miserable in the video. You looked like, because the alarm was going off on a rental bike. It was a rental bike, and the alarm was he couldn't take a step because all of a sudden the bike is hovering above the ground, and the rented bike needs to always be on New York pavement.
So let me explain. When you take a rental bike, you have to park it. And I had to this happened. This is me going from shooting the sporting class to the hospital, and I needed to be on a bike. And so I had a bike to the studio to arrive for shooting time, but I couldn't find a parking spot. So I had to take the bike into the studio and then take the bike out of the studio. But during the filming of the show, the bike went dead and the alarm went off as though I had stolen it. And when the electric bike's alarm goes off, they can't be moved, and they're super heavy. So I was schwitzing, trying to move the bike, knowing I had to get rid of that bike to get a new bike to get to the hospital at the right time in order to get to the next appointment. And I was in full panic mode. And Bimmel, God bless him as CEO, his first thought was, a la Pablo, this looks like content. Let me tape it. So I'm trying to get the bike in the elevator. I can't lift it. And he can't help me because he's too busy videoing.
Let me hear the
That's
sound.
what happened.
Play the sound here real quick so people can hear our guy Bimmel harassing David Samson with a stolen bicycle.
Since this happened, you were stealing his city bike. I was going to be late to sporting class. And so I couldn't be late, and I couldn't find a parking spot, so I brought it to the studio. And now they think I'm stealing it.
David Sampson's life right now is it's an emotional Iditarod. He is just running from place to place with sled dogs that are exhausted. Regardless, David, Mike, please stop hassling the people in the other room. You're getting in the way of the show. Like, stop doing that. You're chewing gum and distracting the entirety of the show with your punishment.
Danny kind of looks like Hancock in that video. Yeah. He's got the beanie and the glasses.
You do look pretty good, David. You do look like you've got your stuff together. Let's get to some sports stuff here because the sporting class is where it is that David Samson, John Skipper, and Pablo do the sports business stuff better than anywhere else I've heard. David does a lot of good sports business stuff on Nothing Personal. But also, I would imagine that you have been better on this baseball gambling scandal than most people, because I've been confused that, A, the basketball gambling scandal seems to be something that's getting a lot more attention, coverage, and interest, when the baseball scandal means one of the best closers in baseball is probably never going to throw a major league pitch again. And that seems to me to be it should be a bigger story. It's a pretty big story, but it should be a bigger story given what that guy's career trajectory was.
Well, I think it's a pretty amazing story that it took 3 days for MLB and the sports books to get together and change the rules and basically curtail certain prop bets and limit the maximum amount you can bet to $200 on what, let's say, in-game next pitch velocity, et cetera, the things that can really cut to the integrity in a way that is touchable, palpable. And I want to give credit to DraftKings. We're obviously a DraftKings network. We are a DraftKings show. But it's not easy when you are approached by a league with an existential crisis and your view can be the Heisman, which is, hey, that's your fault. That's your problem. You can deal with it. Instead, they got together and said, we can find a way to make sure that all the customers, because that's what matters is customers, that they realize that we're all interested in the integrity of the moment and of the game. And therefore, we're going to be willing to throw money away, not take the amount of money that we could in order to give the appearance of more and more credibility. And it all happened super fast. And that's the thing to do when you're in the news and it's bad. Do something good and do it fast. And then there'll be the next story that people will focus on. And that's what MLB did along with the books.
But walk me through this part of it, right? Because one of the things that has always been a deterrent in recent years to the biggest and best players in sports being contaminated by corruption is they make too much money. Can you explain to the people, given how good Emmanuel Clase was going to be, over what is being reported as about $400,000 for just about everyone involved? How much money did he just cost himself as someone unlikely to ever throw a major league pitch again?
Yeah, I think that what people are missing is that rich people want to be richer. And players in that category, they like a lot of free stuff. Rich people like free stuff. If you go to anybody who's rich and say, hey, I'll give you an extra $5,000, you might say, wow, I won't bend over for $5,000. But guess what? Rich people do. They'll take the $5,000. And so it doesn't matter. Clase was not thinking to himself, hey, I got a chance to make $20 million. I'm going to turn down $5,000. That was not his thought process.
Answer my question. How much in career earnings did that closer with that arm at that age cost himself?
Let's conservatively say $25 million. Conservatively.
A year?
What's your point?
A year?
No. That's about what he would make. That's about where he would make. Let's say, now, could he be one of the relievers who could do it for 10 more years? I'm just saying average. Just say $25 million, which would be an amazing amount of career earnings. But what people have been saying, and I don't think you're one of them, unless you're doing it right now, is how could he be so stupid and short-sighted to take $5,000 to throw a ball as a ball and sacrifice the possibility of the $25 million. And what I'm telling you is players, people, they don't think that way. The person who robs the bank is not thinking about getting caught. He's thinking about what he's doing with the money.
I don't know how the bank robber thinks, but you tell me, what you think of this. You think Terry Rozier right now is considering how dumb it was to count $100,000 in cash and risk all of his career earnings?
Like the bank robber, is not usually wealthy.
I think the big thing is people believing it's something I can't get caught. So in the case of the pitchers, it's like, it's the first pitch. I'm still going to strike the guy out or get him out. No one's going to notice. No one's going to read up on that pattern. This kind of high-profile case reveals to all pitchers now, they know. They can tell, right? In the Terry Rozier case, I think there's a difference between I don't know. I feel like a lot of times it's not necessarily, hey, I can make money on this. Like, I'll help my boys out, and I don't have to pay for it. That's the only thing I can think of if indeed he is guilty
I can
of
see
doing
that
this.
being.
Well, no, but that's probably the case in all the cases, isn't it?
I don't know about those pitchers.
It's when you read some of the details, that seems to be what's happening there, is it not, David?
Yeah, no, it's not uncommon what you're saying, where you think that players, and this happens in all sports, you see it in basketball and baseball, of course, you have no idea how big the payroll is for some of these players, how many people they're actually supporting. And this happens not just with Dominican players, but especially with Dominican players where their families just don't have money. I'm not talking about second generation like the Guerreros or the Tatises, but it is very, very common that player is looked at not just to support his family in the Dominican, but his family's family, his friends' family. And you see a lot of destruction and jealousy and anger that comes when people do not get money that they're expecting to get. It is a whole big Megillah. And so that is pressure that is on players that we would say, oh, my God, they're independently rich. But in fact, they're not as rich as you think because their expenses are so much higher than you realize.
I legitimately did not realize until right now. Wow, what an unbelievable oversight by me. So the most desperate situation I feel like I've ever been in publicly involves Sammy Sosa's home run. He finished second. He goes back to hurricane-ravaged Dominican, and people are literally trying to climb over the walls of his palace to get milk. Like, there is just legitimate hunger outside, and I did not realize until this very moment that, of course, what happened to those two guys is they were that Ortiz and Clase had no idea that they were going to be throwing away their entire careers because they threw one pitch for a guy back home so that he can make some money on some inside information that he had. There's no way they had any earthly idea what the consequences of that were.
That's
None.
certainly where my head is, Dan, and I see it all the time. And we see it mostly in the Dominican, not with gambling. You see it with steroids. So many of the players in the Dominican are doing steroids, and when they get caught, their view is, hey, listen, it was worth the shot. I thought that I could mask it, but if I do these steroids or if I lie about my age, I have a chance to get a larger signing bonus. I have a chance for my family to have an actual floor or an actual roof. The pressure on the players in the Dominican should not be undersold.
Yeah, give them a water break. Water break.
Nothing Personal is the name of the podcast, and he is back to watching some movies occasionally, trying to get back to some semblance of normal life around what he is doing. Before we get to whatever it is that you're reviewing, Amin, have you seen Being Eddie on Netflix, the Eddie Murphy documentary?
Not yet. It just came out this week. I've been watching a lot of basketball.
I will tell you just one story without spoiling it that was great. Jesse Jackson saw the barbershop scene in Coming to America where Eddie Murphy is playing all of the characters, including an old Jewish white guy. And Jesse Jackson goes to Eddie Murphy and says, all those guys are going to be stars. I feel like all of those guys are going to be stars in the movie.
Where's the spoon?
What are you reviewing for us this week, David?
I hope someone in the room has seen House of Dynamite.
Nobody. Not anybody.
Are you kidding me?
Audible.
House of Wax?
Okay. Forget it.
Check out
Move
the
on.
line.
No, but
The
tell us.
purpose of this review would be to have a conversation. I can review a movie no one's seen on Nothing Personal on Netflix, directed by Academy Award winner Catherine Bigelow, about what a government does when there is the day after tomorrow, that's an old reference, but for the younger people in the audience, that was a show about a nuclear war with Jason Robards, where people thought there was an actual nuclear war. This movie, House of Dynamite, is about what goes on when there is a threat, the possibility that there could be a first strike done by our enemies, and what we would do, how we would react, what are the chains of command. House of Dynamite does it from every angle, from different parts of government, and then it builds to an end, where the end is Wait, I can't say the end.
It's the end
Don't-
of the
don't spoil it, Dave.
It's the end of the chair company.
And boom goes the dynamite.
No spoilers.
So no spoilers,
No
Mike.
spoilers.
Thank you. So if you watch to the end, people are very concerned with the end of this movie, and they're losing what the movie was about. And the movie was about an examination of what perilous ground we stand on as it relates to nuclear proliferation and what could happen any day with leaders who are irrational or leaders who don't understand what it means to be in a world order. And so this movie took a chance, and it's being criticized because of an end, and nobody's discussing the entire first hour 40, and that's what I would prefer people to focus on.
So Bigelow made award-worthy art, and the conversation gets hijacked afterward that ignores the art and just becomes whatever the controversy of the day could be at the end of the movie.
And that's a very telling thing that's happening, where we are forgetting the forest and we are so focused on an individual tree and its sapling that it's making me insane, actually.
David Samson is a noted bicycle thief. He has Nothing Personal. You keep playing that sound whether Mike's ready to talk or not. Like you guys are not talking. Yeah. No, I know.
A lot of errant whistles in the crowd, Dan.
Look.
He
yes.
stole a bike.
Chris,
That doesn't call for a whistle?
Chris,
Stop thief!
Chris, I know. You don't need to give me your breakdancing move of I know what you're doing with the whistle, but Mike not hearing the whistle or reacting
Keep
to
doing
the
the
whistle
breakdancing.
just makes it something that's actively distracting to me as I'm trying to do
Always works.
a live show. What was
You
that?
opening a code?
What was that?
Camera.
What was
take
that?
more dancing.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to do a live program here.
Ooh, look at those shoulders, Dan.
That a lot of people are watching. That is not helpful. Pete Carroll is an active distraction. The punishment is only mine. David, nothing personal. Support the things that David is doing. He is being very willful about doing them right now. Thank you, sir. Much love. Before I update Doug Christie's latest press conference, I can't believe that I get to do Amin Finds Out.
Oh, nipples.
I've got Amin Finds Out because Amin came in here today wanting to report something and wanting to get into the Pablo Torre Finds Out game where he is revealing to the audience something it did not know in a way that delights and enlightens the audience.
So Dan, iPhone users might have experienced this thing.
I haven't.
He's too distracted, okay? Chris, no, but it's not just you that's distracted. It's not just me that's distracted. Chris has imaging for Amin Finds Out. He can't do it because he's too busy with those damn whistles. Like he doesn't have the imaging ready because he's doing a different show, the show that him and Mike want to do, that has now hijacked the video room, too.
All right, let's pull him. Roy? Roy, take over.
He's going to the backup.
Yep, we're pulling you.
Help the listener, please. Help the customer.
So if you were an iPhone user and you've recognized recently, oh man, I feel like I'm misspelling a lot. I know I'm typing. I was like, I'm making all these typing mistakes. How is this possible? Right? Is there something wrong with me? You're not alone. This is happening to a lot of people, myself included. And the reason is there's a problem with the new iOS. I watched a video of a guy who slowed it down. You're typing the right letters and it's entering the wrong letters. So you see, I'm dead serious, dude. You see the H get toggled, and instead of H, it'll be U. Like
you'll see the A and S for me.
Right, AS. Like it is actively playing defense against you. This is a big problem. I don't know why the iPhones are doing this, but I literally thought, I swear to God, I thought I was having some neurological disorder. And like, man, this is me getting older now. I can't type. I thought I'm typing the right thing, but I'm looking at the words. It's gibberish. Turns out, no, it's not you. It's the damn phone.
That is a mean finding out. I don't think you can do funnier than alleging against yourself a neurological disorder while stumbling on the neurological. It is.
It might still be true.
It is part of the aging process. You are feeling, this is unusual to say, and I hope that you can find for me, Roy, the sound and the video that I was trying to get from Chris back when he cared about doing his job instead of whatever the hell he's been doing for the last 45 minutes. There is some Charles Barkley video and sound that I was going to go to that puts Amin in a position I have not heard before, as I'm hearing Charles Barkley in a position not a whole lot of people in the media are taking right now. Charles Barkley, as he often does, is saying something here that I'm not hearing a whole lot of other people saying about Nico Harrison and the Dallas situation.
Because the Mavs were a mediocre team until he made those trades. He was doing a good job. Then he had the bad luck with Anthony Davis never being available, basically. But the thing that bothers me is he's just being made a scapegoat. Listen, Shaq knows this, Kenny knows this. There's no way in the world Nico Harrison had the power to trade Luka Doncic unless the owner of the team signed
Patrick
off.
Dumont.
Yes, that was his call. So I feel bad the way Nico is being made a scapegoat, but anybody who knows anything about basketball know good and well Nico Harrison did not have enough power to trade Luka Doncic. So that's the thing that bothers me. He's had a streak of bad luck with Anthony Davis and Kyrie both getting hurt, but the premise of this trade is Nico Harrison. I hear all these fools and idiots on TV talk, Nico Harrison going to be the guy who traded Luka Doncic. No, the Dallas Maverick organization made that call.
Chuck is too skinny.
Oh, it's an odd look, man.
Se ve malito.
He's got like Aaron Rodgers vibes for me. It just looks off. Something you look at him, something looks off.
I think he looks great. I don't know what you're talking about.
I agree. He looks great.
I think you look like you drink sodas.
His suits are blousy.
Yeah, the shoulders are big on the suit. Shoulders are really big.
Dan, there's a level of like mortality that I feel looking at that, right? It's not just the clothes, the ill-fitting clothes. The face looks a little gaunt. The neck right here, little loose skin.
Oh, the
and
skin.
It's like some of my people say,
that's a great point by him. The skin.
you know, maybe he's because he's on the not Ozempic, but whatever the weight loss thing that he's doing.
GLP-1s.
Yeah, it just to me, I'm seeing this a lot with a lot of people I know around the NBA, former players, retired players who looked a certain way in retirement, and then you don't see them for a little bit, and you see them again, and like, oh no, that's the sign of someone getting older. Not older like, oh, my back hurts, whatever, like, but older like we're entering that next stage where I gotta worry every time I open my phone up to see a graphic or something.
Well, loose skin tends to happen when you were once big and then you get small, so that kind of happens there. It's not his fault.
That's a good point.
I don't see a lot of people talk. It is his fault because, like, it is Chuck's fault. Yes, he got heavy and then he lost the weight, and so he got. I mean, whose fault else? He's the one governing what food goes into his mouth. Like, it's
Lean on your experience.
I am. I'm speaking as an authority here. I don't need your help with that. I'm doing
We've
fine.
been here before.
Coach, I don't need your help here. I got this. This isn't like before in the game when you asked me to just throw the ball to Roy out of nowhere.
Dan, your face looks a little more full, though. I think you don't have the experience.
Look, this is a strange thing that's happening with Charles Barkley. In that, you guys are telling me, you're feeling, I don't agree with you necessarily here, even as I say he's too skinny. You're telling me you feel like he looks healthier, heavier.
Just looks off right now. Yeah. I can't explain it.
You're telling me that him skinny looks to you more mortal than him heavy. That's what you're saying.
I honestly think it's the suits. If he got like a fitted suit, I think he would look. It would be night and day.
So go to a tailor.
I'm sure he did though, right? Like,
No,
would
these are-
Chuck not do that?
No, it's probably those old suits, man. That's probably like he's just grabbing the ones from the closet and putting them on. Or maybe it's laundry day. I don't know. Either way, like there's a part of me.
Something's
Dan,
off.
You're off base, man. He looks terrific. I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you know?
He looks I know things.
You don't know.
I know things. I'm smart.
I mean, I think you're having a take that not a lot of other people are having. I think most people think that Charles looks great. When I say that he's too skinny, even as somebody who, like him, has fought his weight all his life, I'm saying it because it doesn't have the things he's saying don't have the same oomph when he says them as a lighter person. When he's thicker, this is the comedy is better and the points land harder. And in this case, he's giving voice to something. Who's feeling bad for Nico?
So ironically, a lot of former players, like what we've interviewed over the last few days,
You got 2 minutes here.
they kind of echo these things like, well, it wasn't just Nico, it was the organization. You got to understand, obviously, that Barkley has a relationship with Nico from Nico's Nike days, as do a lot of guys.
So he's on the take.
Not on the take, but just a little bit more sympathetic. But guys keep repeating this, oh, it's the organization. But it's like, it was Nico's idea.
Yeah.
And the owner employs you to be an expert.
Yeah, the owner's not a basketball guy. You're the basketball
It's like if I go to my doctor and my doctor says, hey, you should take this medicine, and then it has disastrous results.
Oh, but you allowed him to give you the medicine.
Yeah,
right?
like no one would say, oh, it's my fault
Yeah.
for taking the medicine. It's my doctor who's the expert's fault for telling me.
Why are we doing another press conference?
You're on, Coach.
All right. Started slow. Kind of sad a little bit. Dug ourselves out of it. Whistles killed us. Whistles were, they were just really bad. Too many
Heavy-handed.
whistles. Made the right call. Pulled a young guy. I still have faith. He's our quarterback. 100%. He's still our quarterback. But Roy did give us a spark. And we settled in. We're able to come back in that one. Most important thing is, just secure the W. We'll look at the film. We'll reevaluate. We'll get out of the building alive.
You've aged.
It's a hard profession. Any other questions?
What did you think of the idea of somebody distracting people with bit while they were trying to talk seriously about mortality?
I mean, it's a trick play, no doubt. Want to keep the defense off balance.
Amin was palpably and obviously distracted while trying to talk about serious subject matter because you were in his ear chewing gum and I think shaking ice.
Sorry, where's the question here?
I'm Downer Dan.
No one's down over here in this room. All right? No one's down. We're building a program. We're in year 2. All right? What's up, Trevor?
One of the things that I always find interesting in basketball is how sustainable are you? The Pacers are 1-10. The Mavericks were in the finals a couple of years ago. The whole thing has fallen apart. You remember that really fun year Sacramento had where it's like, are they on the rise? Now their coach is Doug Christie, who I don't believe is necessarily qualified for that job. He's another one of these former players who doesn't have a unique necessarily insight to how to coach. He's just a former player who has some allegiances to Sacramento that people remember. And so the Sacramento thing has collapsed, and the press conference we played of Doug Christie yesterday was weird. But before I replay it and then tell you what happens to update this story, I mean, what's fair and unfair to say about Doug Christie's both relationship with Sacramento and his relationship with his wife that was a subject of much topic around Doug Christie that makes a whole lot of people in our audience of a certain age remember that Doug Christie was wildly and hugely supportive of his wife in a way that made it known to all, in a way that was super public, that his wife was in charge of their relationship and that she was the one, and his love was something that buoyed her. They were very public about their relationship before that was a popular thing. And it's almost one of the first things I think of when I think of Doug Christie. What's fair to examine there?
Well, I mean, I would just, to the second question, just say that, like, if you think about the show Basketball Wives, which opened up this whole world of the wives and girlfriends, the wags as they call them over across the pond, being celebrities of their own right. And Jackie Christie was really like the first one to be of that mold even before the show went on in terms of being known for being Doug Christie's wife. And which is funny because Doug Christie wasn't that famous a player when he played. But to the first question, what he means to the city of Sacramento, you got to think about the only sustainable success they've ever had in that city over 40 years of having NBA basketball is Doug Christie, Chris Webber, Peja Stojakovic, Hedo Turkoglu, Rick Adelman, those Vlade Divac, those teams, right? And so
could have and should have beaten Shaq's Lakers.
They came closer than anybody else, I guess, other than the Pistons, who they actually did it, right? So the idea here is that, and as a guy who never left, right, stayed with the organization first as a broadcaster and then as an assistant coach and now as a head coach, right? So when he speaks, he knows how to use the jingoistic terms to get the Sacramento people very bought into him as a person and as a leader. So yesterday we played this sound, which is him after they lost pretty handily.
Roll the audio.
Good evening. Good evening. Some of you guys, I think everybody in here knows me. If you don't, my name is Douglas Dale Christie. I'm head coach of the Sacramento Kings. Okay? Change is hard, y'all. We about to work at it like crazy. We totally get that. And it'll be bumpy. It will. Because change is like that. But buckle up. For the real ones, buckle up. And for all the rest of you, you know who you are. You know how I feel about that. When I see the hate, the haters, the fakers, all you guys, you keep that energy. That's good. You keep that. And you know who you are. Because while you doing that, we're going to be working. And while you doing that, we're going to be growing. And while you do that, eventually, we're going to be coming.
10 seconds here.
The King Show. Sac proud. Know that.
3, 2. All right, I mean, go ahead. Set up a second.
So that was after they lost to the Nuggets 122-108. So last night they play against the Hawks. Worst team, right? Also a home game. Surely better results. Roll the sound.
Shameful compete level. That's it.
133-108 they lost to the Hawks. He had that big ass speech.
I didn't expect that.
They lost to the Hawks worse than they lost to the Nuggets. That was his sound.
But he tried to motivate. Look, he threatened the haters. You heard it. He went in, but he doesn't.
And the fakers. Don't forget about
Keep
the fakers.
that energy.
He doesn't have the soldiers behind him. He's got what's left of Russell Westbrook trying to get a triple-double.
Like, you want to talk about, like, the Clippers, and they're just getting a bunch of names. That's literally what the Kings have
We
done.
like Russ.
DeRozan and Russell Westbrook isn't going to fix it at the end.
Schroeder.
Like, what is all of that? What are they doing in Sacramento? That was the most promising team in the Western Conference a couple of years ago.
Lighting that beam.
Them in Memphis were like, wow, this is the future. And it's like, ugh.
You know about that beam?
What happened? Doug Christie is now in charge of something he will not be able to pull out of. There will be no pulling out of that. He will drown under what is happening in Sacramento, and they will go back to being what they've always been, if not for Rick Adelman.
This is why we always say that ownership is so important in sports, is because you can hire qualified people, but if you don't support them, especially in times of crisis, then it all falls apart. They had, as you said, the beginnings of something that looked like it was starting to work with Monty McNair as the GM and Wes Wilcox in that front office and Mike Brown as the head coach. And as Mike Brown is telling everybody, hey, this isn't working because guys aren't listening, guys are not executing, their answer was it's Mike Brown's fault. They get rid of Mike Brown, and then obviously they get rid of their front office. And so the cycle begins anew. And the new front office comes in with Scott Perry, and they made some decisions that, quite frankly, feel very head-scratching. It feels like this does not move.
It's
the
such a
franchise
stupid
forward.
roster. You look at it. It's a stupid roster.
It is a stupid roster. You know what's crazy, Zaz, is like they're one of the teams I mentioned yesterday I happen to know that are monitoring the John Morant situation.
Ooh. He happens to know? Great Scott, he happens to know. He happens to know. Gather everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So wise.
You can't do that a second day after he's already done the happen to know. The happen to know has to be a surprise. Respect the happen to know. Respect the happen to know. It can't be him repeating and recycling yesterday's happen to know.
If the play works.
But the point is, it's like you send them John Morant, and yes, they'll be better because John Morant's good, but it feels like it's just going to be more of the same because they're not going to provide the structure and the accountability that I think John Morant really needs.
It feels like sending John Morant to a bad situation is probably not the spot for him.
The idea that you guys are talking 2 years after Sacramento and Memphis were playing for the top of this conference, they were telling us, look, you can make them 3 and 4 and 5 seeds, but I was told that was OKC before I was told OKC was going to be OKC, okay? I was told that was going to be the future. Sacramento and Memphis and their young players, and they're playing a different kind of basketball. To look up and see Memphis getting every game, whether Ja plays or not, losing by 35 points every single night, where they've given up on the entirety of whatever it is that was supposed to be.
Dentech's ready.
I don't want to do football yet. I'm not happy with your governance of today's game. You've been actively distracting me. I've heard.
Gotta go.
I don't want to do the Dentech bucket yet.
Yeah, no, let's keep talking Sacramento Kings. That was working.
Get the Reaper out of here. I'll do football for you. Reaper out. I'm not ready to do this yet.
We give them that. We give them that control over the offense.
We'll do the Dentech bucket in a second.
Check with me.
The thing that I did want to get to, though, because I'm hearing Lewis during the breaks as I go out into a kitchen area where I thought the pastelitos, thought we scrimped a little bit in the eating area on the pastelitos today.
Look, they were excellent. We love our pastelito papi. There's there could be more.
I could hear Lewis still grumbling, I really need that money Sunday. And so I'm watching on the television, and it says Chiefs must-win game against the Broncos. And I want people to understand what the bet was that Nick Wright made the other day, because it's not me against him. It is the shipping container has $5,000 riding on the Chiefs minus 3.5 at Denver, correct?
Yes.
So this is a game for the top of the division, and I don't think it's a must-win game for the Chiefs, but you guys don't seem to be objecting to the idea of it as a must-win game for the Chiefs.
It's absolutely a must-win game in more ways than one.
Yo,
but
how locked in are you that game?
Buddy, I might be calling plays. Might have to send it over to Andy Reid.
So Nick Wright and I are making a $5,000 bet on behalf of both Nick's Chiefs and the shipping container. The shipping container minus Mike, minus Amin. This is Tony. According to Nick Wright, this is $5,000 for Tony, Chris, Roy, Lewis, and who's the fifth person?
Jeremy.
You sure he wanted Jeremy?
He's not here to defend
and that's
himself.
$5,000 split amongst us.
Are you guys going as part
Although
of the,
we can do each of you
as part of the consortium that Nick is in, where he bets big money on big things? He's willing to spill $5,000 on behalf of the shipping container. Will you guys be watching that game with the audience on Sunday? The must-win game for the Chiefs, with you guys on the Chiefs side, $5,000 on the result. You guys will be watching that and doing something with it?
Dan, will we be doing something? You will be able to watch us sweat every single second of Kansas City versus Denver, a massive game in the AFC West, not only for these two teams, but for the boys in the shipping container and Lewis in the back. I will be spearheading it, okay? You know, I'm Mr. Live 305. We will be spearheading a live watch party watching Chiefs Broncos 425 big game.
Okay, big game. Zaz, is this
I
a big
decide if
game?
it's big game or not big game.
I'm telling you it's a
or
big
not
game right now. I'm
Well,
telling
wait
you
a
that.
minute. You don't get to decide that.
I decide that
decide.
one.
Zaz,
What is it?
Zaz decides that. You don't
I'm telling you it's a big
decide
game.
Chiefs, Broncos, 3.5 points, $5,000. That's a big game.
Let's go.
Oh, wow. All right.
Let's go.
Big game.
Big game.
Good decision.
How many other big games are on the schedule? Let's do the Dentech bucket. Go get the shamed Reaper and allow him into the room.
There's actually one other big game, by the way. Seahawks versus Rams is
I'll
a
decide that.
massive game.
Is that a big game, too? Hold on a
Don't
second.
forget the Raiders.
Seahawks, Rams, NFC West. That's a big game.
Woo! Another big game.
We got another big game.
Wait, three big games
Bucks
this week?
Bills.
Wait, I don't
Coach,
know.
what do you think about
Wait
Bucks
a
Bills,
minute.
Coach?
Not
I'm focused on Dallas Monday
Coach
night.
doesn't decide big games or not big
And a
games.
quarterback change.
Zaz decides that.
Bucks, Bills. Bills coming off of a bad loss to a stinky team. Bucks coming off of a loss to a good team. That's a big game.
Oh, okay.
Three straight big games.
Big weekend.
Yeah.
I think we got 4 big games.
No, you don't have a fourth.
Detroit and Philly. Big game on Sunday
Wait
night.
a minute. Is that a fourth big game? That is a fourth.
Sunday
big
night
game.
football. Lions,
Ooh, that is a big one.
Eagle. I decide. Lions, Eagles. That's a big game.
All right.
So they're just all big games.
Yeah, no, that's it. Just those 4. That's it. Not all of them. Most of them are not
Right,
big
First game
games.
ever in Spain?
Most of that.
Okay. Washington,
Oh.
Miami. Both teams are 3-7. Terrible record. Not a big game.
Not a big game. They're not all big games.
We got Chargers, Jags.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah?
Is that a good game or a big game?
You don't know the difference?
Impactful. 2 playoff teams as of right now.
Chargers, Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence sucks. Not a big game.
Not a big game.
Trevor Lawrence doesn't play in big
Not a
games.
big game. They're
Powerful
only
for
4.
playoffs.
There are only 4 big games. I mean, go ahead and reach into the bucket. Go ahead and turn the music back on.
I like to rummage. I got the Broncos.
So you were at 4.5. Now the line has gone up to 4.5.
You should keep it.
I'm putting it back.
Ooh, wow.
He's an ally,
You gotta
Dan.
fade the shipping container.
It's a big game.
For the record, by the way, the game on Sunday, according to our lines, it's 3.5 because the line here is 4.5. It's gone up a point in favor of the Chiefs. So Nick got that line at 3.5 earlier in the week. Just, I don't want any confusion if there's a 4-point controversy.
I'm rummaging.
You just put back a 4.5-point favorite at home that's first place in the division.
Steelers. Yep.
The Steelers
Cincinnati.
are 5.5-point favorite at home against Cincinnati.
But Flacco, though.
The Bucket is presented by Dentech's Ultimate Fantasy Football Punishment. Learn more and sign up your league at dentech.com.
Tomlin is afraid of Flacco. I'm worried.
He is afraid of Flacco. That's true. It's the only guy who makes him blink. Mike, I don't need the soundtrack of you chewing.
Can Coach pick the Raiders?
God.
Is that a controversy?
Don't let him look in the bucket. I see him
He
cheating.
should just get the Raiders.
Let's go.
Can we
We're gonna
just give him the
we're gonna
Raiders?
defer.
What do you mean you're going to defer?
Second half, Dan.
The Raiders are at home against the Cowboys. You get the Raiders. The Raiders
No,
are
we defer.
the Raiders
We
are
defer.
3.5
Come back.
point home dog.
Come back after half a use.
I got the Giants. I'm going to throw that back expeditiously.
The Giants. Good
Jameis
job.
Winston.
Ooh, the Jameis. He's 7.5 point underdog at home against the Packers.
I know how that one's going to go.
Weird team. Packers.
Packers kind of weird, yeah.
Unserious.
All right,
That's
here we
what
go.
Dominic Foxworth says.
Wow, I
Not
got a
se-
big game. Bucks.
Wow.
You've got Tampa Bay, so Tampa Bay is going to end up being
I'm
on
getting
the
points,
road.
Dan. I'm getting
Yeah.
5.5.
Well, no, you're getting 5.5 points. No, you're not getting anything. You're a 5.5 point dog. You're getting a loss. Is
Getting
what you're
5.5, Dano.
Remember when we used to wear gloves for this segment?
This is annoying. It's annoying to speak this way, and I imagine it's annoying for the audience at this point as well. But Dentech is not annoying. It'll get rid of your headaches
Fantastic.
if you're a grinder. Roy,
Way to clean that up.
what do you have on your helmet, Roy? Is that the Seahawks?
Yes, sir. The Seattle Seahawks.
So Seattle, that's in one of the big games. We got one
Rams.
They're at the Rams. They're a 3.5 point dog at the Rams.
I'm putting that back.
Whoa!
You guys are putting good teams.
Roy,
Seattle's
coach.
one of the best teams in the league, Roy. Are you watching football?
7-2.
I'm watching hockey.
I can tell.
Clearly.
He's got the Chargers.
I got the Giants.
Oh, the Giants. I'm sorry. So you're a 7.5 point dog.
Roy,
at
start
home
watching football, buddy.
against Green Bay.
I'll watch on Sunday.
All right, here we go. I'm going now. Let me go to the bottom. I like to go to the bottom. Get one down at the bottom.
Hey, why aren't you
here.
wearing your Dentech mouthpiece?
I am not wearing that at the moment. I have the Falcons.
The Falcons are at home, 3.5 point favorite over Carolina.
Not bad.
Favored over a team they lost by 32.
Not
I'll
bad.
keep it.
They're at home. Wow. So
All right, I deferred. I'm going to go ahead and pick now.
Second half just kicked off, Dan.
he's super annoying today, man. Like he's most annoying most
Texans.
days. But
Davis Mills. At Tennessee, we're going to keep that.
you're going to keep that as a 6.5 point favorite at Tennessee, despite your beloved Cam Ward. The Reaper's coming in here now to
Now we wait.
to allow Zaslow. Zaslow, you haven't done a whole lot of punishments. One of them was you stayed in a bed. How many times have you lost this season?
Yeah, and I also I dressed up as a NASCAR driver, and I have a punishment coming up next week. My deal is in the mail, so don't you worry about that.
I think you're dressing up as the Pope.
Yeah, it's appropriate. San Francisco.
Appropriate.
The 49ers are on the road at Arizona. They're a 3.5 point favorite.
I'm going to keep that.
All right, you're going to keep that. That was funny. As soon as the Cardinals say, hey, no more Kyler Murray, we're going to go with Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett gives you that game. I've got the Dentech Golden Helmet of Life, I'm assuming, right? Like this is, yes, look at this. This is the most precious thing in here. No one's happy for me, of course. I require the celebratory music. Thank you, Dentech. Dentech, I'm very pleased. No one's happy for me. Obviously, they want to see me in these costumes.
Stop talking.
I don't like these costumes.
Back to you.
Talking over the imaging.
I was going to lay out as soon as the Stugotz came in here, but once again, you're being too handsy with the show and you're getting in my way.
I mean, people are talking.
You know, that's not, do you not know what laying out means?
At the end of the sound, you were going to lay out.
At the
We're gonna lay out
at
after
the
the-
after the
right
ba.
before the ba.
Got to run out of bounds.
Right before the ba.
All right, let's just go ahead and pop.
I was gonna. I was going to stop right before the ba and
Fourth and
comedic.
nine.
A comedic.
We'll talk about it after the game.
Allow it.
We'll talk about it after the game.
Allow it to buttress me.
Kneel down.
I'm reading headlines this morning, and I did not see this game, okay? So you will forgive me for not knowing that Hannah Hidalgo is a great player for Notre Dame in women's college basketball. She scored 44 points last night. But when I saw 16 steals, I'm like, does Akron have a point guard problem? Because 16 steals, I don't understand under what circumstance I could be watching any game that someone is so athletic that they've got 16 steals in a game. What would you guys think is the record in an NBA game for steals in a game? Because when I saw 16 steals, I'm like, that can't just be about Hannah Hidalgo is great. She'll score against everyone. She'll score 44 against a lot of people. But if I ask you for the steals record, when I see 16 steals, I assume the steals record is like half that. That's something closer to 8 than to 16.
The NBA record for steals in a game is 11. It's two guys, Larry Keenan and Kendall Gill.
Ooh.
Keenan did his in 76, Gill in 99.
Shout out to Kendall Gill, the boxer.
7 players have done 10 steals.
16 steals, though, that must be very fun to play basketball that way. to be a player who can steal the ball 16 times feels to me like what would be a dream scenario for how can I be more athletic than everyone it is that I'm playing against, so athletic that I can dominate the game by doubling up what would be a normal steal total for an amazing game.
Or just playing against some sloppy passes, bad turnovers, bad ball handling.
Also, I mean, what's the cookie rate on those 16 steals? Because that's an important thing to note, right? Is it 16 steals where I'm getting in the passing lane, I'm getting one? Or is it cookies where I'm taking what you're dribbling and those are mine, thank you, excuse me?
The cookie percentage is an important
We need to
element.
check that out, yeah.
We need that before we can confirm anything. By the way, you talk about Hannah Hidalgo. What you know about that? Audi Crooks, man.
Oh, yeah, she
Iowa
dominated
State.
last night.
You know about that? You saw that?
Yeah, I saw what Audi Crooks did. She had like 40-something points last night, man.
43 points in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Crook would be a better name for somebody who's doing the steals, I would imagine, right? Than the point totals. Can you guys tell me whether or not you've been following at all the journey of Gilbert Arenas? Because it's been really interesting to watch all the things that Arenas is doing, pouring a great deal of money into the making of content. He's gotten into the content business in a way that is expensive and has been successful. There are not a lot of athletes who have had the success in this space that Gilbert Arenas has. Gilbert Arenas, during his playing days and afterward, is an uncommon personality anywhere in athletics where he's actively willing to be a troll. This goes back to his playing days. He got suspended, one of the longest suspensions ever that I thought, before watching the Netflix documentary, I really did think that Gilbert Arenas didn't get into historic suspension trouble for bringing a gun into a locker room and having a showdown with Javaris Crittenden. I thought that the suspension initially would be over that. And then I thought, no, the reason that he got that long a suspension is because while he was still playing, while they were trying to figure out what to do with that, he came out and did a gun celebration with finger guns, and then he got yanked off the court. But it turns out, after watching the Netflix documentary, that the reason he got suspended for that, he says, is because he was just on NBA planes going back and forth all over the place with a bunch of guns.
Dan, a couple of things. Gilbert Arenas, like Shaquille O'Neal, sometimes embellishes stories, right? But it is true. His initial suspension for having the guns in the locker room and all that was like 2 games, 3 games, or something like that. He gets reactivated. That first game back when he's reactivated, he comes out with the finger gun salute, and David Stern blew a gasket. And that's when he threw the book at him, which is what I actually ask Adam Silver to do all the time, throw the book at him.
He's being introduced before a game in the middle of this controversy, and as he does so, he does finger guns as if he thinks all of this is funny, that he's getting suspended for a couple of games.
So this is the backdrop. This is the kind of guy he is. I mean, even we talk about the showdown, if you will. Crittenden walks in the locker room, and Gilbert has 3 guns on the chair and says, pick one. And Crittenden says, I don't have to do that. I got my own. Cocks it, starts singing, oh, let's do it. And it said everybody ran out of the locker room except for Gilbert Arenas. And I heard this from not Gilbert Arenas. He sat back and he laughed. So this is the level of troll, ladies and gentlemen. He's willing to die for the joke, right? Or at least he was when he was a player. When Gilbert retired, I said, this guy would be great on TV. The problem is he's Gilbert Arenas. He plays by nobody's rules. We had him on the jump one time. Our producer sat with him for 40 minutes in pre-show meeting. All they were doing was going over words you can't say. What about, can I say this word? No, you can't say that on TV. No. They finally landed on douchebag. Can I say douchebag? Fine, Gilbert, you can say douchebag. And then he proceeded on the jump to work the word douchebag into every single answer of every question thrown at him. This is a Gilbert Arenas who at another time could never exist on TV. But because of the great equalizer of the internet, he has become a massive star for all the reasons of rule breaking, of being a troll, of all these things have allowed him to be a massive star. Now, here's the deal, Dan. We got the gambling scandal, and this is him talking about the day he learned maybe I should stop trolling.
Me trolling my own case, and I'm ready to snitch, right? And then I'm looking at the case like, all right, Chauncey, Rozier, the f*** this guy doing me? What happened is we're getting ready to go on the show. So I'm like, I'm not going to mess this moment up. Not going to mess this moment up, right? So
what did the lunch bag say again?
In 4-minute lunch. I didn't know, because, I'm reading on real time and then, going on a show, I didn't know how serious that was. And then once I realized how serious it was, it kind of scared me. But them, right, it started saying like,
the crime families.
Like, I've heard these names before. Right, like I'm watching you, because I watch Dateline, and I watch, all this mob. So I be watching like, okay, got in an argument at a restaurant. Next day, restaurant blew up. Oh, okay. Car blew up. Whoa, like, okay, so they serious about their business on just arguments. This is real. This is 4 families. Mm-hmm. And my name is in it for no damn reason. Do they think this is real? Do they think I'm a part of it? Listen, I didn't get in my car for about a week and a half.
Really?
Hell no.
I mean, let's talk about what's real and what. No, I believe I don't. This one's interesting, right? I did not believe that there was a trolling line that Gilbert Arenas would not cross, because I, too, marveled at, in a locker room where Gilbert knew what his power was as the star and the star moneymaker, he pushed a teammate to the brink on the game of chicken of, you're not going to shoot me in here. Here are the guns. Teammates are running out, but he's that committed to the joke.
Layout.
He does not fear the FBI. He does not fear basketball investigations. He does fear the mafia, obviously.
No. That's exactly it, Dad. But like, the idea is that because he had his own like FBI thing earlier in the summer, people were saying, oh, maybe Gilbert was on the toll. So as soon as he saw the story, he comes in with the bag with the informant lunch on it. But even as he's telling the story, I'm like, I don't believe you, Gilbert. I think he's still going to troll. He's still going to do these jokes, and he's still going to have fun with it. In the rest of the clip, he says he had to make calls to the underworld to make sure, am I kosher, am I good, or am I in danger here? And they let him know he's good, and now he can start his car.
I just don't believe the part where he didn't go in his car for a couple
a week and a half, he said.
No way. There's no way he didn't go in his car for a couple of weeks.
You know about those car bombs?
Well, yeah, I do.
Okay, so?
So there's no way he didn't go in his car. Well, I stutter? Just trying to tell you.
I do believe he was scared, though, and I don't believe he scares easily.
There's a moment, right? There's a brief moment where you're like, oh, like, I'm making a joke, and I'm thinking I'm making the joke at the expense of Terry Rozier, or at the expense of Chauncey Billups, at the expense of Adam Silver. And you realize, when you look at the names on that list, you're like, oh, there's some people who don't make jokes. They don't make jokes, yeah. And like, I need to clarify real quick. My name's Bennett. I ain't in it. My name's Paul. That's between y'all.
What were your thoughts, on the move that Steve Kerr made where he's saying he's ready to make major changes, and the major change is right after Draymond says hidden agendas, it's Kuminga, you're going to the bench. We're aware, right, that Draymond still leads that team, right? Like that the furnace that Draymond is, with the connection specifically that he has to Steph, right? Like, this is an unusual bond that they have. In the fire, the only ones who survived it was them. Durant got blown out. Get out of here, Clay. We're the furnace. It's going to be Draymond does all the little things. Steph does all the big things. Good cop, bad cop in the locker room, I would imagine. I imagine that everybody loves Steph, and Draymond's the one policing it. They go out and they beat Wemby last night after Jimmy Butler's there with Draymond saying, no, Kuminga's the problem. The problem here is Kuminga, and now Kuminga goes to the bench.
Well, Anthony Slater also posited yesterday that Brandon Pajemski, the third-year guard, had made comments in the summer that they deemed to be a little disrespectful.
That's
about,
stupid. I saw those comments. So Brandon Pajemski was asked, how good do you want to be? How are you going to take the mantle or something? He's like, I want to be better than Curry. And apparently the veterans got mad. Why? That's stupid. Who cares? He's saying he wants to be one of the greatest players. That's not a good thing to say?
A level of it's weird. It's a sport that demands delusion, but also like realistic delusion. I've told the story before about Aaron Aflalo, where he told us in our pre-draft interview that we said, who's a guy in the league whose career you think you can mimic? And he said Kobe Bryant. And we said, well, no, yes, obviously the best players, we want to emulate them, whatever. But realistically, you look around the league, who's someone I can have his career, and he's like Kobe Bryant. And we were like, yeah, dude, you're not going to be Kobe Bryant. So then we explained to him, we think you can be like a bigger, more athletic Raja Bell, can do a little bit more off the dribble, can defend a little bit more versatility because you are tall or whatever. And it was like we told him, hey, can you clean our toilets barehanded, please? It was so far beneath him to say, hey, you can be Raja Bell, which Raja Bell, all defensive team, played on some teams that went to the finals, some deep runs.
Well, when you talk about these delusions, though, do you guys not understand in the Warriors locker room how Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry would look at anyone else in the locker room and be like, you have no idea how hard what we just did was for the last 10 years. You have no concept.
Go to a mean Diddy.
Oh, don't do that one.
Like, do you think Jimmy's a part of any of those conversations with?
Jimmy feels he belongs in that conversation.
First of all, Draymond and Jimmy are lockstep, right? It's the two assholes who like to hold people accountable in the most asshole way possible, which, again, in Draymond's case, I think for both of them, they're vets. They've been in the league long enough. And I think the things that they demand are good basketball. They're not demanding, hey, just keep passing me the ball and get out of the way. They want you to play better. For Draymond in particular, and I said it yesterday when we were talking about him and Steph and Clay when he was there and Andre Iguodala when he was there, they're really understanding about what makes this thing go. Not just like, hey, give the ball to Steph or whatever, but literally the attitude and the approach of the championship mentality. It's not for everybody, right? The way they do things there. And so when you see someone who kind of breaks away from that, they're like, no, man. We put four banners up there doing it this way. To hell with your way.
Okay, but here's where the Warriors are stupid. What did they expect with Jonathan Kuminga this year? They went the whole summer, we don't want you, you don't want us, and then eventually he signs the tender, and yeah, he still needs to go out now this year and get his because he wants to sign a long-term deal. And you know what? Coming from Jimmy Butler, that's pretty effing rich. Where last year, he tanked the Heat because, he wanted his money, even though Jimmy's probably made $200 million in his career. Jonathan Kuminga's made squat. And, you're upset that Jonathan Kuminga's trying to go out there and get his? It's kind of stupid that the Warriors didn't acknowledge this.
That's a good point. Kind of trailed off.
I think the context is important, right? In the sense that Jimmy Butler last year, we all knew it. You looked at this Miami Heat team, this is not a championship team. Meanwhile, in Golden State, they feel like they are a championship team. And so when that agenda supersedes the ultimate team success, it becomes threatening. When it's like, we're not doing anything anyway, then it's a little bit more acceptable.
What the Warriors expect. What they expect out of it this year.
And also, the players aren't the ones they have nothing to do with that. This is a player-driven conversation.
Can we examine, though, when Zaz sort of says, what did they expect? Let's make it A.J. Brown now in the Eagles, okay? Let's make it the big controversy in football where you've got a 7-2 team and someone who we know to be great is saying, I want to be great from within the greatness. I'm always great. A.J. Brown is the number one receiver. We all know it. The only thing that's ever stopped A.J. Brown since we've learned his name is the Eagles' offense. We know that that's a human being that can't be covered by just about anybody. And so A.J. Brown is in the middle of this saying, I know how to be great. I know how to be great within this greatness. We have won. Look, this string of winning Philadelphia's done doesn't happen very often in football where you win 23 of 25. These things break apart. A.J. Brown is in the middle. We're sitting here talking about how does Russell Westbrook how does LeBron James end up fitting in with a group of people when you've been the great thing the entire time? A.J. Brown is a mess around a team that should not have any messes given the level of success that they have. But what happens when you getting yours conflicts with the team getting its? What does happen there? What do you do with A.J. Brown if you're the Philadelphia Eagles and you have an unhappy superstar, unhappy clearly, even though you've won 23 of 25? 23 of 25. What do you do with that? How do you lead that? If you're Nick Sirianni, how do you keep eating it in these press conferences where your star receiver in videos on social media is being like, this isn't for me. I'm clearly not happy.
So it'll be a stupid question. I'm just going to ask it anyway. Why can't they just throw the ball to A.J. Brown more? He's really good. Why can't they just throw it to him more.
3 targets last week.
Yeah.
13 yards, right?
Sometimes it's not the most obvious thing. Hand the ball to Marshawn. Who knows?
Get the press
Got to
conference
take what the
thing.
defense
All right.
gives you.
All right. Look, I'm
Coming up on 2 minutes here. Coming up on 2 minutes.
I know that already. I just said that. You're aging, and I asked for your press conference materials. All you've been doing all show is chewing. Does your jaw hurt?
It actually does a lot.
All you've been doing for 3 hours now is chewing. Chewing in the meeting before the show. All right, let's do the press conference. Let's review the last hour. Go ahead.
He looks haggard.
You're in the shot.
Really aged.
Sorry about that. You're in the shot.
PR guy, come over
here. Yeah. Well, let me. Couple things here. False start on the first Dentech. We got to clean that up. We'll hit that heavy in practice. We got to learn to lay out too. Miscommunication. But we touched on all the sports. A lot of different looks. I thought Chris Cody bounced back. Really responded to the adversity. You love to see that. Building a good locker room culture over here. Now we'll open it up to questions.
Do you think you're actively keeping Amin from being distracted?
He was a little rattled during the Amin Diddy thing. I tried to do what is called a callback. Just
why was there a whistle in the press conference from our bounce back player of the show, our comeback player of the show, Chris Cody?
Leader of the mind.
Why is there? The mind is a press conference. Why? I've never heard somebody blow a coach's whistle in a press conference. Have you?
Where's the question here?
You're distracting Amin. Do you not notice it?
Yeah, I mean, I could have. I wanted to see what kind of response he had for Amin Diddy. And we saw what Amin was made of. He had a great conversation about Kuminga. I thought Zazzle made really good points. Got to finish a little stronger, no doubt. But to be able to counteract what Amin was throwing at him, real good job.
Coach, you know about that Diddy?
That's it. No more questions. We're done on that, by the way. Coach, thank you. Appreciate that.
That's my time.
You did peter out. You realize that, right? You stumbled toward the
I
dismount.
did. I'm gonna lose a little sleep over that tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be lying in bed, feeling good about the show for the most part, and that's gonna keep me up.
Can we see how Mike is aged just trying to be in this cauldron for 3 hours of running both video and audio at the same time?
Run the graphic.
This is staggering here. This is really.
That's how we looked at the start, and then that was hour 2, and that's now.
Dan is loud wrong day.
I was loud wrong this weekend.
Loud.
What is today's date? Let's mark it as an official holiday.
Wrong.
It is the 13th of November.
Yeah, your day.
How do we make this like a holiday? And on this day every year, because of how wrong I was about Notre Dame Miami, I will not be able to say anyone else is wrong about anything.
So loud.
Even if like O.J. Simpson did that today, I would never be able to say anyone was wrong.
So wrong.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. What's better, great sex or Dan being loud wrong?
Do you have the self-discipline to do this?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I will go the entire show today. In fact, you pointed out I'll take fines every time I mention that anyone's wrong about anything.
I could say whatever I want. You can't point out that I'm wrong.
Right.
Just anyone? Not even us. Like anyone in the nation.
Like, what if Stugotz is factually wrong about something?
Doesn't matter. You can't point it out.
Yeah, someone else will have to jump on that.
I am the most wrong. We need to go through today's show because I'd forgotten it was Dan is Loud Wrong Day. We don't celebrate that around here.
A lot of fines, Dan. There's going to be a lot of fines when we get the report, the last 2-minute report.
All right, let's find out what I said everybody was wrong about, and I'm going to hand out cash at the end of the show because I did not know we were celebrating Dan is Loud Wrong Day.
By the way, the cash goes directly to me as the owner of the Fine Bucket Plus Loss, which I am boycotting.
You definitely said I was wrong multiple times for playing whistles at the wrong time.
Yeah, let's get Ethan on that.
Let's find out what it is that I owe because, and let's try and remake the money back on selling Dan is Wrong shirts for Juju. I won't get that money either. Juju will get that money. Make it a fashion statement. I didn't think I said that many people were wrong today. Nobody reminded me that today was Dan is Loud Wrong Day. Nobody reminded me. Thank you for doing that.
So we're wrong?
Yeah,
3 hours late.
Not as wrong as you.
Tread lightly.
Find out what it is that I owe over the entirety of the show. Can you guys update me on this, okay? Because you know that I love boxing, and have always talked about boxing here, even while nobody else wants to talk about boxing. And I've lamented over the last few years, but yet I can't deny it, that Jake Paul has taken over the pay-per-view game and made celebrity boxing a thing, a ridiculous thing, where most people listening to this, I'm assuming, don't care that Francis Ngannou has to go from being legitimate heavyweight champion of UFC, what should be a distinguished title, to following the Jake Paul plan of circus freak fights in order to make real money in boxing, because Jake Paul has somehow come over to boxing and jerry-rigged the game so that he gets the eyeballs, he gets the audience, and he was going to fight Tank Johnson, and I thought he was going to lose that fight. I thought it was going...
Tank Davis.
Tank Davis, excuse me. That is a fine. And I can't... Yeah, okay.
Just tell me later.
Yeah, I'm going to owe so much money at the end of today's show.
We listen back. You owe $20 to Roy, $14 to
No.
me.
Stay confident. You got your Boris Quinton.
Tony's going to own Meadowlark by the end of this.
I thought he was going to lose a fight. Tank wasn't going to fight at 132 pounds, right? He was going to gain weight for that fight.
As much as he could.
I was going to say, how much can you gain on that frame?
I thought he was going to lose that fight because that's the most legitimate boxer he's faced, even though he has him by 100 pounds, and there are reasons for weight divisions in fighting. But Jake Paul can't fight Anthony Joshua. Like, he should not fight Anthony Joshua. That is going in there to get knocked out. That's a legitimate heavyweight fighter and somebody worthy of the heavyweight crown. And if Jake Paul fights him, he's going to get harmed. He's going in to get knocked out. Is that a real thing? Is he going to go from fighting Tank to fighting Anthony Joshua? He's going to go up 100 pounds I'm going to actually fight a real fighter?
Yeah, and obviously there's been a lot of people that have had their name thrown in, whether they've liked it or not, between the Tank Davis fight falling off. Then there was Nate Diaz. Yeah. It was like, oh, is he going to fight? And then it was Francis Ngannou, and then Francis Ngannou was like, I'm not going to fight him. And then all of a sudden they've settled that Anthony Joshua. But if you look back, Anthony Joshua starched Francis Ngannou. And if you look at Francis Ngannou versus Jake Paul, and you're like, that fight wouldn't have been fair either. So now look at the discrepancy between Tank Davis, who's 5'6", 140 pounds, to Anthony Joshua, who's 6'4", 260 pounds.
I transitive property. You know about that?
I know about transitive property. I like it. I use it as a tool sometimes.
Guys, just I know that Tony does the MMA and the combat sports for us around here, but fighting Nate Diaz would be one kind of fight and would be in keeping with some of the silliness that he's done with Anderson Silva and other people.
He'd probably beat Nate Diaz.
Yeah, but he's fighting someone who is a striker, but and is good at boxing in MMA. But Anthony Joshua is a whole nother level of expertise and
hate to do this, pal.
Size.
They fought. Unanimous decision for Jake Paul over Nate Diaz.
Anthony Joshua is a heavyweight fighter worthy of the heavyweight crown. Jake Paul should not be stepping into a ring with that person. How real is that, Tony? Because the first time I heard that, before it is that they moved to Tank, who was 100 pounds lighter, the first I heard of that, I said Jake Paul can't and shouldn't do that. That is dangerous in a way that is not responsible.
It was kind of the same situation with like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, where I was like, all right, is Mike going to get hurt here? Because Jake is a legitimate, strong boxer and has like a really good right hook. And it's like, Mike is 60 years old. Now we move that to the upper echelon of Anthony Joshua is a world-class, world champion boxer who has massive cinder blocks for hands. And Jake Paul's never fought somebody with that kind of power. So when you talk about transitive property, yeah, you could take a shot from Tank Davis, but when you're taking a shot from Anthony Joshua, completely.
But I am in on this fight, by the way.
Anthony Joshua, by the way.
But
I want to see this.
But is it real, though? Because he was supposed to fight Tank this week, was he not? Last week is when that fight was supposed
to be here, right?
It was supposed to be across the street, yes. And that fight also had circus properties to it, because you're still talking about 100-pound weight difference.
Yeah, there's always a circus property when you have Jake Paul involved, because you never know who he's going to fight, because he's not going to fight a guy who's in his division who's a legitimate boxer. But everything seems to point out, from Uncrowned to Yahoo Sports, Ariel's product, the Netflix boxing match is in the works for December. So it's like a legitimate thing where the wheels are greased and moving towards a big payday for Anthony Joshua.
You have my interest. Like, I'm going to watch
Same.
to see Jake Paul get knocked out, because I don't – look, I don't know what to do. You guys tell me what I should do with this, as gambling is something that is in baseball, in basketball.
And awesome.
You're getting into corrupt thinking that things aren't real types of games. You can influence in UFC a real fight. And I saw Conor McGregor be carried around by Floyd Mayweather, a defensive fighter, for 8 fights. Anybody who has watched boxing knows that that's Floyd just carrying someone around in order to keep a payday going. If Anthony Joshua does not extinguish Jake Paul in a round, I'm going to immediately assume that's fixed. Jake Paul cannot stay in a ring with Anthony Joshua, who's actually hunting him, unless Anthony Joshua's in on carrying him around.
Anthony. Mention the kill shot Tyson had.
Yeah, obviously Tyson, who also has cinder blocks for hand, albeit a little bit older hands, but he had the kill shot on Jake Paul and it didn't happen, right?
And don't we also assume that Tyron Woodley took a dive?
Maybe.
I believe, Dan, weren't you here, though, before the Jake Paul-Tyson fight saying Tyson was going to
Yes.
destroy him?
And yes.
I know that Joshua is not 60.
Okay, but listen to what it is.
No, he's not 60.
Listen to what it is, though, that what Tony is saying, because you are correct on Dan is loud wrong day. I did say that Mike Tyson was going to kill Jake Paul. And if Mike Tyson had thrown the punch that he would have at any point in his previous 60 years, he would have killed Jake Paul and chose not to kill Jake Paul, because I have to wonder, when you get into the circus elements of this, honest to God, what requirement, you talk about professional trolls in Gilbert Arenas, what requirement does Jake Paul have to adhere to any of boxing's integrities and have a fight with a Mike Tyson who's 60 years old, and they both have the understanding, and Mike, if there's any spot where you can kill me, don't. Like, what responsibility does Jake Paul have to put on a fair fight when his chief governance is entertainment?
So then, are we just saying it's wrestling at this point?
I mean, it's a crime if it's not. Like if he's
That's
making
correct.
side
It's illegal.
arrangements,
That's
it's
correct.
It's a crime.
It's
100%.
illegal. But what responsibility does he have to be responsible about legality? We were just talking about Gilbert Arenas. If you're running boxing, you're Jake Paul, and you're an internet sensation, what real responsibility do you have to fight for by the rules when you can just throw up your hands and say, isn't it all entertainment? It's just all meant to be fun, right? You're just paying me for the view. You're not paying me for the integrity of the view.
So a couple of questions. Number one, his fights are sanctioned? Are they sanctioned by any boxing commission?
Yes, they're now. Yeah. He's ranked. He's ranked, but boxing is the dirtiest, okay? Where there is a dollar, there's a license.
Sure. Okay, so then my next question is wrestling ever on the Vegas books? Can you bet on who's going to win WrestleMania?
Yes, but it's one of those like prop bets where there's a limit, usually like $500, the max you could bet on a match.
And a ton of books refuse to take it.
Yeah.
But you also don't know what the script is, right? So you unless you're
but
inside.
some people do, and there's no way to prove, hey, do you know
Can we
what it
examine,
is?
though, what Jake Paul's responsibilities are here in the dirtiest game that you're arriving at, and you're now changing it? You're the money. Boxing has always been corrupt. Boxing is one of the few sports that has judges. You can contaminate judges. Boxing is one of the few sports where you can have a fixed fight because you just get in bed with one fighter. What responsibility does influencer Jake Paul have to play by the rules?
I think he has a massive one, right? Because it's not about just his fight that's on the card. He's putting up, and he's done a great job of lifting up women's boxing in a way with Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, legitimate all-world boxers that are females. And
I think he helped Francis Ngannou get paid too, right?
Also in a weird setup way too. But when you look at what he's doing for the people that are up and coming in boxing ranks, especially women, if you're looking at top down saying the fight is fixed at the top, then is the fight fixed for Amanda Serrano? Is the fight fixed for Katie Taylor? Are fights that are legitimate fights fixed?
My question to you guys is, couldn't he rationalize any bad behavior and file it under, hey, I'm an influencer providing opportunities. I'm an entertainer. Like, I shouldn't be doing the illegal thing,
Way to fix the tone.
Am I not a rule breaker?
But it's cool up until the point, like I said, if people are gambling on it, if without limits as it is in wrestling, then it becomes a problem. But whose responsibility is it to report to the gambling houses that, hey, This is theater. This isn't.
I mean,
genuine.
if I were to talk to anybody in boxing who has some real knowledge about what boxing is, they would tell Jake Paul that it's irresponsible to get into the ring with Anthony Joshua. Like, it's not that is not, never mind prudent. That's not something someone of his expertise or his skill level should be doing with his life, whether he's a ranked fighter or not.
Unless it's not real.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Unless it's not real. But if you look at across the ring and you're looking out and saying, all right, this guy has fought Vladimir Klitschko, Andy Ruiz twice, Usyk twice, Ngannou, Dubois. Those are murderers. Those are legitimate killers in boxing, and Jake Paul has not had that resume. So
Ngannou is not, though. Ngannou is not.
No, but he's got nuclear power in his hands, Dan, which I don't think anybody that Jake Paul's fought has had that threat.
I believe that if you got on here, they would be dismissed as curmudgeon, but if you got on here, anybody who actually covers boxing, they would tell you that there's not a way for Jake Paul to win that fight that isn't fixed. It's not even he can hit with one lucky punch. Like, that there is no circumstance under which the skill level and the experience level of Jake Paul should be in a ring with Anthony Joshua. To go from
Anthony.
To go from a Diaz brother or spent MMA fighters, whatever, didn't he fight Uriah Faber, whatever, whoever the strikers are that he has fought, that he has beaten all of them, this is a whole nother game. I just think, I believe that the crowd is being taken advantage of in making this about the entertainment as opposed to the expertise.
You don't think it's so much more like, I know you're going into it wanting to see Anthony Joshua knock out Jake Paul. Yeah, all right. Knock out Jake Paul. You don't think it's so much more interesting if Jake Paul knocks him out?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. I want Jake Paul to win.
Chris, let's go ahead and start a running audit. All the times Dan was wrong.
Dan said the entire group was wrong for being concerned about Charles Barkley's weight.
Now lay out, and we'll keep the thread going.
How much do I owe per
Don't
fan?
ask him any questions. Just let him do his thing.
Dan said Mike was wrong for wanting to go the Dentec bucket as early as he did.
Keep talking boxing and then spackle.
Point being that these two guys are going to get you to watch on Netflix in December. That's the point and period of the most important part of eyeballs. Oh, I want to watch Jake Paul do the impossible. I want to watch Jake Paul get knocked out.
It's going to do numbers. It is going to do. It's a good choice by him to fight someone of this
much
name.
Much better choice than Gervonta Davis.
But you're legitimately going in terms of whatever the management of Jake Paul's both entertainment and economic.
You got to
career
give Chris
are.
space.
Dan said Zaslow and Ethan eat too much cream cheese.
I just heard. Okay, I mean,
don't react to him. Just keep it moving. That's our bit. That's ballet.
You got to stop chewing on.
That's DLS football.
You got to stop.
I got to do what? I got to do what? I got to do what? Are you telling me I'm wrong? Add that to the list.
Tony, you're going from I'm going to make all of this a curiosity. I'm going to do all of this to this is the end game. There is no place after this to go. Once he's fighting Anthony Joshua, this is the end. I thought Jake Paul was going to milk this for as long as he could. Let's make it weight disparities. Let's make it spent fighters. You're going to the top of the food chain. You're fighting one of the best heavyweight fighters, and you're fighting giant power.
Unless he beats him.
It can't be on the up and up, Zaz. Like this is not what are the betting odds on this? Tell me what the betting odds are on this fight. This can't be close betting odds. Jake Paul has to be somebody who's an overwhelming betting underdog.
Dan said Amin was wrong for referencing Ethan.
Is each fine $5?
Yes, paid directly to me in perpetuity. Jake Paul opened as a plus 550 underdog, minus 1,000 for Anthony Joshua. So. Yes, this is the pinnacle, Dan. Like we've reached the last stop in the road.
How did we go from Nate Diaz and somebody 100 pounds lighter?
We went from Nate Robinson during COVID. That's what we went to.
That's where it started.
5 years later, we're looking at a former heavyweight champion and a guy who is an absolute killer.
Isn't the answer easy? How we went from that to Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua is going to bring in a lot more money.
Yes.
That's how we got
And
there.
that's why it's a win, because Gervonta Davis, yes, is a good name.
I wouldn't have watched Tank Davis, and I do not care.
But now you hear Anthony Joshua, who again 6'6",
I'll check that out.
250 pounds.
Well, but
I'll check that out.
I guess the part that I'm asking you guys about is in the management. These things have been happening in boxing forever, okay? Some great white hope appears and becomes the thing that is lifted to the top of the sport because it makes money.
It's our bread and butter.
Jake Paul has been, to this point, fighting matchups that are curiosities, okay? They are curiosities because he's taking spent fighters or different weight classes.
It's a freak show.
He's a better fighter than you thought he was, but only because he began against Nate Robinson. There is no such thing as a story in the history of boxing that goes from fighting Nate Robinson to having this particular fight. It doesn't exist in the history of the sport where Anthony Joshua is the guy you're fighting. It's no longer a curiosity. You're getting into a fight with a killer that everyone except for 2 or 3 men in the world would be a betting underdog against. There are literally only 2 or 3 people in the world who can step into the ring with Anthony Joshua. You're going to the top of the food chain. It's just fast forwarding what I thought was meant to be milked for 5 more years.
Dan said David answered the wrong question when talking about MLB gambling.
Maybe this is the end game.
But I didn't know we were there yet. Did you? Like when we're talking?
No, I didn't know.
He has already lost, so like the armor has already been dinged a little bit because he's not going to have this perfect record like a la Floyd Mayweather. But this was always supposed to be a freak show until all of a sudden the freak show ended and it was like, oh wait a second, I can fight a legitimate boxer. Oh, I can get close. Oh, I can fight Tommy Fury and lose a little bit and then come back. Oh, I can fight Tank Davis. Wait a second, I can fight Anthony Joshua and end this whole thing. And what I'm looking at right now, reports are Anthony Joshua's payday is upwards of $70 million. So like. That is a massive payday. Everybody eats, everybody's happy, and this whole thing goes away.
Maybe this is the end game. And don't forget, his brother just recently retired from boxing. Like, he's not boxing again. He's full-time WWE now. So maybe Jake Paul's near that spot as well, where he's done with boxing.
Dan tried to correct Zaslow by saying Norman Powell said bad loss and not really bad loss.
Give me a total at the end of the segment, and are you guys agreeing that it's being paid to Tony?
Of course.
I thought these were $5 each, and I think Tony agreed.
I think they were $20 each.
I think I'll do you a solid. How about this? How about you roll over whatever it is that you're going to pay me in perpetuity, of course. You roll that over to the bet on Sunday. Okay, you add that to the pot on Sunday.
Stakes are so high.
Everybody eats. Everybody's happy.
Wow.
$20 each.
Very high.
Dan tried to correct Mike when he said 79's the mic.
The
I didn't say that.
$70 million payday that Anthony Joshua is getting is not a payday that he could get against anybody else. That's crazy for me to say that the sport has been so upended by
boxing's stupid.
By this person bringing eyeballs and circus eyeballs to it. Can you find for me the most Anthony Joshua has been paid for a fight, just so that I can think about the absurdity of what it is that you're talking about? That a circus freak has come over, an influencer has come over to boxing, turned it on its head. So now it's not just that Ngannou's making more money fighting the freak shows than it would be in MMA. It's also that Jake Paul is bringing the real boxing fighters more money than they would get from fighting other heavyweights.
It looks like he earned $60 million in his fight against Andy Ruiz in 19.
That's another fine that I'll add. It's Andy Ruiz. 46 million.
That's what I said.
You said that? You said Anthony. Whatever.
He
not
said
the point.
Andy. All right,
around,
you give $20 back.
No, that's for the whole pot though. 50 million for his fight against Francis Ngannou, 46 million for his fight against Andy Ruiz. So not as big as a purse that he would fight for fighting.
All right, he's shook.
Jake Paul.
All right, Roy.
Oh, that's a fumble.
Roy, come in.
I mean,
I think that's a bad play.
Get over here, Roy.
He said
Oh, you throwing the coaches on?
Coach,
I tell you when to play.
Coach,
I tell you which plays to run.
You told me to run up.
Are you talking? Get out of here.
Tony said Blad.
Unreal. Unreal. Unreal.
Back row Roy.
Unreal. Out of here. Uncoachable.
I believe that we aired yesterday on yesterday's show. I believe I owe the audience an apology, and I believe that it's not something that I can necessarily put back in the tube. But when I came in here today, Mike Fuentes ends up being the guy who says, I was not shocked or surprised by what happened at the end of the last episode of The Chair Company.
That's crazy.
Spoiler alert.
I just believe, but this is where I'm apologizing. So, yes, spoiler alert.
It's not a spoiler.
But look, by
saying there's a surprise is definitely a spoiler.
Yes, what we did is we ruined for some people the surprise that would have been at the end of The Chair Company because of how we talked about it, even though we talked about it yesterday in disguised terms.
Dan, I could watch it again, and I'm still going to be surprised.
But we lessen the surprise.
am I wrong?
We lessen the surprise for some.
Look, I'm not shocked or surprised that Mike Fuentes said he wasn't shocked or surprised. I think you have to really gauge your audience here, where the source is coming from.
That's an incredible world that Fuentes lives in where that is not shocking to him.
He just yawned. He's like, oh, is that it? Oh, come on, man. That thing was ridiculous. By the way, I would like to apologize to the audience as well because I aired that yesterday was a very special day. November 12th is the day that Doc Brown sends Marty back to the future.
You look like Doc Brown. Mike Ryan looks like he has aged into being Doc Brown at the end of Back to the Future. You do.
You need to go back to 2015 and get a whole overhaul.
I believe we got this wrong, Zaz. I believe that for some members of the audience, by over-talking the surprise ending, we end up ruining or at least diluting part of the surprise.
Okay, so they know that there's a surprise, but it doesn't matter. In a million years, they wouldn't know what the surprise is. You're still going to be You've never seen anything like it on cable or network television. You're going to be shocked.
Dan,
it's obscene.
Dan, do you remember when The Sixth Sense came out and everyone except for me, because I figured out within 5 minutes of watching the movie that Bruce Willis was dead. But I'm just saying, I knew it. But everybody else, hold on.
How'd you know it?
Hold on.
Are you about to say he's wrong, Dan?
Hold
Are you
on.
about to say
Hey,
he's
why
wrong?
is he talking? Why is he talking? You're benched.
So,
How'd you know?
When that movie came out, because it's obvious he doesn't interact with anybody
not
else.
obvious.
It's so obvious. Go watch it.
Spoiler alert.
But anyways, Dan, when that movie came out, what made it such a sensation that people went to the theater to watch it was everyone said, you'll never guess the twist at the end. They told us there was a twist at the end. This was before people knew that M. Night Shyamalan was a hack, right? They told us there was a twist at the end, and everyone rushed to the theaters to see it, and nobody walked away and said, oh, you ruined it for telling me there's a twist at the end.
That's right. That's right.
The twist at the end of that episode of Chair Company is so bonkers and outside of the realm of what anyone...
It's not even a twist. It's not even a twist.
It's not a twist.
It's just an obscene thing.
No, just...
Enough.
Yeah, enough.
Fuentes wasn't surprised.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Is M. Night Shyamalan a hack? Because that is
yes.
not. That is not.
No, that's yes.
But put it on the poll. I just remember when M. Night Shyamalan was on the cover of, I believe, Time magazine. This is the future of filmmaking.
Oh God. Was that real?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Hold
yeah,
on.
for
I'm
sure.
gonna Google that.
Yes. Go ahead and look it up. In fact, find for me what it is the headline on that story was, because he was introduced by the magazine industry as someone who was going to change the entirety of the game, and
the magazine industry.
You know what I mean?
Dan's wrong again.
Oh,
clarify for him.
Sorry, Dan. It was Newsweek, not Time magazine, and the headline was "The Next Spielberg."
That's $20.
Is
Well,
Hollywood's
Tony.
Hollywood's
No, roll it over,
hottest
roll it over.
new storyteller, M. Night Shyamalan?
I mean, the next Spielberg is not. He's the future. It's not a hack.
It's Newsweek, not Time magazine.
Spielberg never would have made a movie where the wind kills you.
$20 more. Try to correct you after you corrected him.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Would Spielberg ever make a movie where the wind kills you? At LeBatard Show. M. Night Shyamalan was viewed as the future of filmmaking. It wasn't just Newsweek, correct? Like, I'm not...
Newsweek, that's another one.
So wrong.
Why'd they make Frankenstein sexy as...
Have you seen Frankenstein, Dan?
I saw it. It was an odd choice.
Let me tell you something.
He's hot.
Look, like I said, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, but there was a part of me that rolled my eyes and sighed deeply when the monster says, "Hold on, now let me tell you my side of the story." I'm like, what?
He was just grunting and ripping people in half, and then he's like,
Wait a second.
Wait a second.
He said
what? Allow me to explain myself.
There's been it hasn't been out that long. You're going to ruin Frankenstein. For
How does a
people as
creature
well.
have an accent?
Just like, look, he could have saved a lot of time and trouble. Say, hey guys, by the way, like he's that eloquent.
I mean, they've been having this decades-long battle. It's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, right? We
no
all know the
spoilers.
source
Guys,
material.
it's a monster.
So they're all just like blood feuding, traveling the entire world trying to kill one another, and all it took was like one conversation. Wait, no, you thought that? No, I'm so. Oh, beg your pardon. How could I be so confused?
Can you guys look up for me, please? I was about to look it up. The casting on Frankenstein was a last-minute change. Like
Not wrong.
I don't think it was supposed to be sexy. I think the original casting would have made it something different, and then they had to, in the last 9 weeks, totally change who Frankenstein was.
He replaced Andrew Garfield.
Oh, that would have been. He's too skinny. How can he be? He's too skinny.
Put up Andrew Garfield when you get a second so people can see who it is that Mike was getting ready to say is sexy as F.
Spider-Man.
He's a good-looking man.
He's
good-looking man. I honestly, Elordi was a much better casting because he's tall.
He's
but
huge.
Yeah, but
He's Nate from Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
Your headset's beginning to bother me with how clankety it is.
I love it.
So
I
are
love
you
the
saying
sound.
he's wrong about that?
It's just beginning to bother me. Is that the same as being wrong?
You're saying it's clankety. I don't think it's clankety.
Mike Ryan has been yelling at anyone who will listen. And I
don't think he's allowed to talk.
Coach, there was 8 in the box. He called a run play.
Back to the bench.
Mike Ryan has been yelling at anybody who will listen that Notre Dame is bullshit. He's just saying they should have bullshit on their helmet. And
It is bullshit.
Hold on a second.
No, wrong. I'll just go. My play now. Did you see what Pat Narduzzi said? This is a question for everybody. Dan, did you see what Pat Narduzzi said? Pat Narduzzi was asked, how is this game against Notre Dame? College Game Day is going to Pittsburgh for this game. It's a huge game, CFP implications. Let's go ahead, run video.
Do you feel like this is a must-win for this team when it comes to something?
Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It's not an ACC game. I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. They can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next 2 after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame and getting as many wins as we can.
Our focus is on Notre Dame at the end, trying to clean it up. No, your focus is on Georgia Tech and Miami.
He would gladly lose 103-0.
That's why it's bull that Notre Dame is not in a conference. Forget the fact that they could risk everything by playing in a conference championship and it be held against them if they lose. Winning in a conference game is hard. Winning in a conference road game is really hard. People who play their non-conference games, when they lose, they often say, at least it wasn't in conference.
Do you think teams and coaches are going into some games against Notre Dame this year not taking it as serious as others, is what you're saying?
They don't. He just told. No, it's not what I'm saying. It's what the coach of the Pittsburgh Panthers just said. When have you ever heard a coach say, I don't care if we lose 100-3.
Yeah.
It's bull that they're not in a conference and that logic is not applied. That is not something that is afforded to any other teams in the CFP. It doesn't matter what happens on the field against this opponent.
The other little headline on Newsweek was, After Tobacco, the new war on Big Fat. Dan, are you okay?
Tony just whispered in my ear while Mike was talking, it is clankety. Like, you can't stop hearing that
We
you're
got
chewing
insubordination
gum
and a little schism. Let me tell you what. You're fined. Yeah. All the fine money, that's going to Roy now.
Whoa! Does he get to decide
No,
that?
absolutely not.
Why do you get to decide that you get that money? Why does he get to decide that you don't get the
Because
money?
out of the Dentec bucket last week, I pulled fine bucket plus loss.
Conduct
So that
detrimental
means
to the team.
okay,
Right.
but let me explain it, Coach.
Nope.
Give me a second. Give me a second, Coach. Give me a second.
All right, I like
Give me a
when you call
second.
me coach.
Give me a second, Coach. So the money that you owe to me in perpetuity, by the way, needs to be put into a bag that gets put into the bet for this weekend. Right, so I'm making sure everybody eats. And it's not a selfish thing. I want to enjoy it with my fellow teammates.
I'm not agreeing to $20 per wrong fine, but I do want to know, Roy. I trust you. Can you gather?
Roy.
Can you gather what my fines have to be so we throw this on top of whatever it is that Nick Wright is going to give the shipping container if the Chiefs win by more than 3.5 on Sunday over the Broncos? We have pivoted as a show from me betting against Nick Wright to me being afraid of all things Chiefs, and now the bet is the shipping container can make a little more than $5,000 on Sunday if the Chiefs beat the Broncos by more than 3.5, and they will be doing a live watch party so that you can watch how it is that they feel about everything that's happening there. The University of Miami in football beat Notre Dame and has lost 4 games in 2 seasons by a combined 18 points. It is kind of crazy to think that you lose 4 times in this particular version of college football where there are a lot of 2-loss teams, and it's hard to win in conference games and it's hard to win in conference games on the road. That Miami would be 2 years of relevant but have 4 losses by such a small amount that because they were favorites in all 4 of the games will keep them possibly and maybe probably out of the postseason both years while Notre Dame gets in, having lost to Miami and also having 2 losses. But in retrospect, what's happened with Notre Dame is absolutely what everybody thought would happen, which is by losing twice in close games against Miami and Texas A&M, everyone thinks those teams are good, and now those teams have proven to be good, except for Miami's not good enough to make the playoffs, but beating Miami is good enough to get you in the playoffs. Yeah. That's amazing to watch happen. Yeah. But not beating Miami gets you into the playoffs, and beating Miami gets Miami out of the playoffs.
I mean, look, you play who's scheduled. As an independent, they have full control over who's scheduled, and oftentimes scheduled is held against a team. It's why Miami, in part, was held out last year of the CFP. Notre Dame's getting fat off of beating bad teams. I know they have a USC victory. That's their ranked win. That looks good. They have 3 wins over 3 teams that are combined 0-18 in conference play. Cellar dwellers. So, if you look at their performances, the best thing that happened to them was that the losses happened early on. And you want to talk about losing as favorites? They were a road fave at Miami. They were a home fave against Texas A&M.
It is really annoying. The headset and the gum combination makes it even
sounds
worse.
like so much liquid in his mouth.
I told you this is a hard punishment.
The problem is, Mike, I don't think there's not a more impressive loss anywhere in the country than now, in retrospect, than Notre Dame losing to Texas A&M. Like that's the best loss anybody in the country's got because everybody knows. Oh, that's one of the good teams. Texas A&M drags everybody. They kept it close against Texas A&M.
I don't know what a good loss is. All losses are bad. Miami's had 2 years of close losses.
I'm telling you what a good loss is. Lose to Texas A&M.
They lost at home.
Lose by a point. Lose by a point to Texas A&M. Lose by a point to Ohio State. Those are good losses, right?
No, I mean, I'm not here arguing that Notre Dame should miss the playoff. If they handle their business, we'll see what the lay of the land is. I'm just here to tell you there's bull coming up on 2 minutes.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should Notre Dame have the poop emoji on their helmet? Yes or no? Now, we haven't had enough, Mike, right? Now we've got to do press conference, Mike. Are you going to age any more than you've already aged over the course of the show? As much as you've aged me over the course of the show with a show that was just pure distraction from start to finish.
All right. I thought we finished strong. That's what we preach. A little squabble on the sideline, cleaned it up there. I like the accountability. Tony's one of the players that we're developing, and he's still learning the game, you know. But I thought we did well. We moved on there. All in all, good, solid performance from the team today.
Coach,
good win. Yep. I'll open it up to questions.
Coach, what happened on the sidelines between you and Tony today?
Again, miscommunication. You like his fire. You like his competitive spirit. And he's eager. He's a player that we have high hopes for. And we cleaned it up. We have a good locker room. And I thought Roy did well in his place. All right?
Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, your star player was rattled in the fourth quarter, racking up a ton of penalties. What did you see there?
You know, Dan Le Batard has been a really good player for us over the years. And we trust him with the ball in his hands, even though Whenever he talks for extended periods of time, we're like, okay, when is he going to mention white supremacy? It's always a little dicey there. But yeah, nervous laughter. But, his name's on the show for a reason. We love Dan, and we got us over the line today.
Go.
I'm going to give, what, you got one?
No, I'm just saying, coach.
Okay.
I got one, coach.
Different
You don't
different
have
dude.
one? All you had in your game was Coach.
Theater of the mind. Has that ever happened at a press conference?
Coach. You got to go with, he already asked my question. It took you guys a while to run some hurricane play calls. Now, what was the thinking behind that decision?
That wasn't the plan. That's what the defense showed us. And I wasn't too happy about that because I like to get in groove, do some early playoff, early Miami Hurricanes talk, no doubt. But I think look, we still got the dub, and we got there in the end.
Coach, do you have any explanation for why Chris Cody decided to play this sound while you were talking?
He's a bit of a wild card. Yeah, he's our gadget guy.
What kind of judgment is that from your EP coach?
I like that guy.
That's not what I wanted.
Oh, look at the Juju is looking fantastic here today. What's going on? You got a tie? You got a jacket? You got some championship trophies? What's going on?
Lucky JJ.
Yes, sir, man. I'm trying to look like the job I want versus the one I have. I've won all of these. Remember that. Just never forget that.
All those trophies.
I give so many good takes here. I give hot takes before Mina Kimes gives them. I give them before Diana gives them. And then whenever Diana or Mina Kimes says them, that's when Dan reacts. Oh, my goodness. I've never heard someone. Zaz says the Bills are dead? How no one else outside of media is saying these things? Well, I think it's because I look like a hood all the time and I don't wear this sweet blazer. So moving forward, I'm going to always wear a sweet blazer here. And you can call me Julian G, not Juju Gotti. I know you don't want to quote that. Oh, said first by Juju Gotti. That's so ghetto. Get that out of here. Julian G says the Bills were done last year and they will be done moving forward. Sorry for Brandon.
Oh no, I think this is an interesting tack to take, Juju. I'm sorry, Julian G.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Oh, this thing right here. Oh, this is just a confetti that fell out of the sky when the Unrivaled League, the Roses won the championship, and I was there covering it. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And this too, I was in the arena when the Celtics won. This with my brother and me covering it.
Yes, sir.
So just neither here nor there.
All right, so you're showing that you should be treated. Julian G should be treated and respected as a legit journalist.
Yes, Dan don't even stick around for these anymore. Do you think if Mina Kimes came on the show, Dan would get his ass up and go eat a sandwich? Hell no. I got to do better. I got more work to do.
Now, Julian G, I do want to ask you, had you been wearing a suit and tie in Berlin, do you still think the commissioner came up and dapped you up?
100% not. He would have not have. That's when the ghetto worked out. It paid off. He was like, "What your ghetto ass doing in Berlin?" It was a good ghetto day.
Juju, we got some Thursday Thunder to do?
Oh, yes, we do, sir. Hit the music, my brother.
That's right. It's Thursday Thunder, and it's presented by DraftKings. DraftKings. The crown is yours. Juju, what we got?
Tonight, we got a Thursday night football matchup that is sure to bore everyone watching. But I'm going to give you a little reason to watch and stay tuned tonight. First leg, Breece Hall. He will get 16 carries tonight. Lock it in. They have nothing else. He's going to get 16 carries, and Justin Fields going to have 73 yards. Lock it in. But don't lock that Justin Fields part in. That was just me ranting. I'm a comedian. Also, don't forget that part. Second leg, Stephon Diggs will have 5 catches tonight. Yes, he will. And the last leg, Pop Douglas, Demario Douglas will get 2 catches tonight. Lock it in, Thursday Thunder. Let's go.
Are we going to get 2 weeks in a row of the garbage on Thursday night? I feel like we're at the point in the season. Like last week was the first one of the season where the Thursday night game looks like a Thursday night game.
Right. Yeah. So boring. And I feel like tonight is a Justin Fields legacy game, unfortunately, because we didn't get to see him have his incredible wins on the 1 o'clock window, the 1 o'clock slots. But everybody going to be tuned in tonight. So if he stinks it up, more bad chatter in the locker room.
Juju, Nikola Jokic, 55 points last night. How about that?
Yeah, man. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. Nikola Jokic, MVP, no matter what.
Oh.
No matter what happens.
MVP of the day?
Oh, MVP of this breaking news. Julian G reports that Nikola Jokic is the 2025-26 MVP. NBA. Let's go.
MVP of the day.
Yeah.
All right, so Juju's giving. I'm sorry, Julian G. Julian G is giving you the MVP of the season. I can't report that, but I'll tell you, for today, if we're gonna have a conversation about MVP, Nikola Jokic better be in that conversation. 55 points last night.
He had that one already, though.
All right,
That's
18
first reported.
All right, that's fine. 18 of 23 from the floor. Hey, you better start a conversation talking about Nikola Jokic.
Yes, sir.
MVP of the day.
Julian G, do you worry at all that because the Nuggets are so much better, his numbers are going to drop and make him look less attractive, even though he's playing better and more easy than he ever has?
I don't think so. I think that this year he has a different motivation inside of him. Like, I think that with them going through what they went through last year and all the noise surrounding their locker room, I think that this is a prove-it year for himself, not necessarily for him in the league, but I think that, dang, okay, not only did we lose to OKC in the playoffs, dang, Shea got that MVP on top of that. So I think the Joker is coming back for revenge, and he won't have no dips this year.
I was going to say, what about the jersey over your left shoulder there? He's playing pretty good this season.
Yeah, he's playing pretty good, but he played that well last year, and it was still a debate. The Joker is playing phenomenal. Like, he putting up numbers we've never seen before. And as much as Shea's team is doing in the win column, that MVP is just a little different category to me.
Second best Canadian in the league, according to Jaime Jaquez.
Right. Also, yes, for sure. Also, too, salute to Pete Carroll today. That was hats off, great punishment, great every execution. The only punishment that was for the audience, though, was the gum chewing. Holy hell. We couldn't stand it, but it was fantastic execution by you, brother.
Juju, were there some jokers last night?
Oh, yes, there was, man. Last night, LSU women took on Charlotte. And we never heard of Charlotte. I don't ever
49ers.
remember Charlotte. Right.
49ers.
Right, coming into the conversation. But before the game, Charlotte took to TikTok and said this right here. Video team, you got it?
Seems like it's B-roll.
Oh, my God. Yes, sir. Us dancing because LSU is finally finna play some real competition.
Oh, and those girls play for Charlotte?
Come on, kids.
Yeah.
Oh, come
that
on,
was
son.
that was before the game.
Come on.
And this was the halftime score. Video team, pull up the halftime score.
Oh, come on.
62-17. Real competition.
Douglas
You
Wade
ma'ams,
Christie.
right. You ma'ams are the jokers of the night. And I salute you. Get well soon.
Juju, you got some polls for us today? What do we got going on?
Oh, yeah, I got some polls. They came in late today, so, and it's only two of them. So I'm gonna just go ahead a quick little news dump right quick. The NBA Showtime crew on Peacock, fantastic. I like what you're doing. I see you, Carmelo. Also, NBA on TNT, it's the exact same show. Let's get over it. It's the same. I don't see any difference. Zaire Alexander stepping away, maybe retirement. Something's going on there. The Bills signed Miko Hardman like I give a damn. Max B is free. And lastly, the Morris twins say that they will mop the floor with the Jokic brothers, saying that those big chest brothers can't move.
Talk about squabble?
Yeah, squabbling. I mean, hey.
I don't know about that one.
They don't have to move. They just crush you with their hands.
I'm going to say this. I did a heavy investigation of the Jokic brothers during the finals in 2023. One of them is a lot bigger than the other one. There's, like, it's
but
like,
that big one is
the
the
big one
biggest
is scary
of the biggest.
But the other one is like, okay, you just tall.
But the big one.
Can the big one scratch his back though? Is the problem.
That would be a hell of a prelim for the Jake Paul fight.
Right. Also, the YouTube listener of the day, Wayne W. I see you, brother. He promised to be nicer to negative people. I appreciate that, brother. And also, if you're going through something out there, know that weeping may endure for a night, but joy is going to come in the morning.
Amen.
Let's get to these posts. Would Spielberg ever make a movie where the wind kills you? 62% of the audience says yes, he would.
Hello.
And the last poll, should Notre Dame have the poop emoji on their helmets? 75% of the audience says yes, they should. And those are your polls.
Good job, Julian G.
Thank you so much, brothers.